And hello, Internet. Welcome to Land Beyond the Mist. We are up to a brand spanking 23, I believe is what it says on the stream. And I am happy to be here after work on a Friday. It is that time of week, and I'm happy. Let us. I know we're running a little bit late, so let us just jump into introductions and downtime without too much blabbing from me and get her going. So, King Lyoko, you're first in my camera order. Go ahead and introduce yourself and your character, and let's jump into some downtime.
Sure, yeah. It's been a while, guys. But we are back with Dagnab McGibbet, your always wascally wabbit. And yeah, he is on the eternal quest for the Golden Carrot, which we've just learned was stolen by a giant bird monster that definitely was not created by anyone else here today.
That is true. Bird feels insulting, but I think it'll let it slide. It's happy with its carrot. Excellent. Well, Dagnab, you've been in the city here for a while since your last adventure. What have you been up to with your downtime?
So he's been in the Acme lab,
Mm.
making up some new tools, some new gadgets, some new gags. And yeah, and so that's cost quite a bit of money. So he's been going to the market quite a bit to get the parts. I suppose most importantly, he has replaced his big hammer, his big collapsible
Ah,
hammer,
the big
and
squeaky hammer.
now it exactly. And the problem was it wasn't flexible enough before. So now he's got it like the big pole. It's like accordion, so it like sort of flops over when you hit it.
All right. Well, that is quite the image, the accordion hammer. Excellent. You spend your time going to the market, trying to find the odds and ends you need to make Acme Labs get you your Wascally weapons to bonk people with. I assume you have all the prices and everything you need. You don't need anything else from me. Go
Nope,
ahead
all
and
good.
spend that gold then and add to your sheet your Wascally weapons. After you are done shopping and getting everything made up at the lab, you're ready to go on an adventure. But before we go, we have some other people to meet. So, Horo, you're up next. Go ahead and introduce yourself and the character, and let's talk about your downtime.
Absolutely. Hello, hello. I'll be playing as Borpfield, sorry, your friendly neighborhood barbarian. Um, I feel a little bit more powerful after my last expedition that wasn't really on camera, but it is how it is sometimes. I feel like for my downtime activities, because I would like to do something that is not really on the list, if you would allow me, Greg.
I will hear you out, but I might make you
Hmm.
go on list.
Absolutely. So I would believe that Borpfield would spend a week straight in meditation before he goes on a second adventure. He
Mm-hmm.
has this power that he doesn't really understand, and his eyes is changing colors and shapes consistently. And he would like to just understand a little bit more of this power. Who is Suhui? Who is this person that blessed
Mm.
Borpfield with his teleportation, essentially?
All
Try to
right.
communicate with this
So I
entity.
will allow this as like an addition of our library here. When we want to ask questions of the mists, we have this beautiful library full of questionable magazines that you can find the answers at. But also, if it's more flavorful for you to research via your pondering alone in the woods on the questions, we can definitely flavor it that way. So you spend your time communing with your inner nature and this blessing that has been placed upon your eye, the ever shifting Logris, and you spend your time investigating it. So. I will allow you to. I guess we have declared your topic of research. I, the DM, will answer one question for our level one here, honestly and accurately, if available. And if not, I will tell you where to obtain said answer. So, on the nature of the Logris and the blessing, what is the one question that you would like me to answer?
Who or what is Suhui?
Suhui is an ancient figure from a long ago forgotten time. He is the father of all of the Titans, as well as the ancient figures that you've briefly met that have gone nameless to this point, but of Oberon and Dworkin specifically, as well as their brother. He has a mastery over a power that you have seen yourself, the Logris, and that mastery is his and his alone. Those that bear his blessing are said to also obtain some level of this mastery.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Tell me, since you didn't read this in an ancient tome, how is it that your meditations led you to these true answers, the nature of the blessing?
That's a very good question. You know, I think I'm hanging out in the library, and Hill Guy just arrives one day completely high himself, and he's smoking his pipe in the library, and I kind of, get a whiff or two of the smoke, and I'm just starting to get these weird visions, and everything just like my mind just opens up, and I understand the world and the realities of it, essentially.
Yes, through the second-hand enlightenment of Snoopius, you find where your answers lie. Excellent. With that, you are a little more prepared to adventure, and you go to meet your party as you are ready to sally forth once more. Before we get there, though, McFly, you are next up on the list. Welcome back to the Mists. Go ahead and introduce yourself and your character, and let's talk about your downtime.
Thank you. It's been a while as well. So Melody got way in over her head last time. Got beaten pretty bad by the druid. After a little while, living as half a tabaxi, because she had to sacrifice a lot to death in that at the end of the adventure, retreated into the Cloak and Stagger Tavern, devoted a lot of time to her other venture, the Well of Information, Knowledge, and Intelligence, the Wiki, the news service for Anchem. And now she's ready to go back out, especially to help protect a McAwesome Sauce clan member. Save a McAwesome Sauce, save the world. That's what they say in Anchem these days.
It's true.
Yeah, ready to go.
All right. So I was messing with your audio there because it was lower than I expected. Remind me, before you protect the McAwesome Sauce clan to save the world, what were you doing with your downtime?
Okay, so I was getting to it.
I'm sorry. I thought it was in there and I missed it. Sorry.
I have been stalking Boardfield around, and now that he understands a little bit more what is or who is Sui, I'd be interested in researching the library to understand how do you get Sui's blessing. He did it in a very fortuitous way, but how could someone manufacture that? Because that could be very, very useful to Anchem's adventurers.
Okay. Absolutely. You spend your time in the library in a more traditional manner, less so, combing the depths of your mind with a little help from Snoopius, but instead reading the old-fashioned tomes. Other adventurers than the ones we see on camera go out from time to time in these mists, and their tales go relatively unheralded, but they do bring back things and occasional old texts, little battered scrolls, a tome here or there that survived the ancient ravages of time. You will stumble upon a small text about these old figures, older than the gods, some might say, although that is questioned by those of fervent belief. But the nature of getting a blessing from Suhui is difficult, as he is a fickle god, his whims shifting as much as the Logris itself. It is said that those that touch death have an opportunity to meet him if he is feeling whimsical, especially if you have recently touched the Logris. It is easier for him to find you, or perhaps the other way around. But it is a matter of whims and less so of religious structure or magical science.
Okay. Right.
All right. With that knowledge tucked away, you go out to join your adventurers at the gates. But we have one last person to go here, Mr. Scarlet Shadow. Please reintroduce yourself and your character. Let's talk about your downtime.
Hi, I'm Scarlet Shadow. I'll be playing Frank's Red Hot McAwesome Sauce today. Another gnome in the McAwesome Sauce clan. The last time that Frank went out in the mists, he found a fairy circle of peppers, went through it, stole from a satyr who looked like an abomination, also stole a whole bunch of cursed reincarnate scrolls, and spent the entire session turning into animals as he got cursed by the scrolls, dying, being reincarnated, dying again, being reincarnated, dying again, and eventually needing a lot of therapy. And that's most of what he's been doing while he's been back in Antrim.
Mostly therapy, yeah.
Mostly therapy, yes. Well, when you're a mountain, turned into a mountain goat with full knowledge of your old self, and then get kicked off the side of a mountain by a satyr, it messes with your head.
I can imagine.
Literally and figuratively. Anyway, so he, fresh out of therapy, has gone to the library because he knows that Antrim is still in desperate need of more resources, and he has noticed, as the stream of supplies and information comes in, we still have not found a quarry. We still have not found any fish in the area. Fish we're going to try to take care of today, but we need to find another place to provide us with more stone. So he's going to go into the library. He's going to look at the stoneworks, the things that have been built around Antrim, try to figure out what type of stone that is, whether it's limestone or some other type, and he's going to try to delve into the histories and try to figure out if there's any concentration of that stone anywhere close. So I guess the question I'm asking is, what is the closest concentration that I can find in the library histories of the stone that is being brought into Antrim from the outside?
That is an excellent question, of which there are two answers that you will find. Somebody somewhere has tales of a group of adventurers that never returned, perhaps were imprisoned somewhere after they went to go fight a warden or a prison guard. But there is some thought amongst the populace that location was in a mined-out quarry, and the stone of that quarry does seem to resemble what you think might be around Antrim. The vast majority of that stonework, or of this stonework, this crumbling and broken empire that you are building back up, likely came from that quarry that was reportedly mined out. There is little, if anything, left in that exact location. The second answer you're going to get is that stone came from a strange place, perhaps. A land to the northeast where there is constant rainfall, a wetland of sorts, but for whatever reason, the magics of that area make it to where the stone underneath the wetland can be pulled out relatively easily, and there are known to be, at least in some ancient time, many years ago, a plethora of stone quarries that could perhaps pique your interest.
Got it. I will leave a notice on the library board letting everybody know that this is where we might find stone.
Absolutely.
And then go collect Melody, who's chasing around Boardfield, who's high as a kite. And take him out to find the rabbit. Let's go.
All right. With that taken care of, our downtime is resolved. The four of you will gather at the gates of Antrim, perhaps, maybe, to the east, where you will meet Lord Commander Victoria Hightower, she who grants you the sweet, sweet rations. All three of them that you can hold before the magics of this place rot them away. And you are ready to set off on a new dawn for your adventure. Tell me, party, as the sun rises and the gates swing open, who's going to lead us for our first little bit of adventure? And what are we doing?
I mean, I'm happy to go first.
All right.
And I think we are simply going to head northeast across the little river there.
All right, northeast across our little river. I'm gonna make that cost you 2 points. Bring us down to 4 for exploration. You pass by a kind of growing area beyond the city. As much as the stonework is improving and expanding, and housing and settlers are, making the city proper get larger, so too is the resources around the edges of Antrim improving. More farmland, more stables, more pastures for oxen and whatever else you need. But soon, even that is left behind as you cross a familiar river, crossing its places that are well traveled. Wagons, even carties, perhaps, have left their trails. But soon you pass even beyond that into open plains, grasses waving at your feet, and the smell of adventure on the air. Would you please roll me a D100 as you make this trip to see if you run into a complication along the way?
Alrighty, let's see the tone that we're setting here tonight.
Indeed.
Very good.
Often safe.
A 3, as we all know, is a calm encounter. You lead the way effortlessly and without delay or complication. Eventually you tire, and a new party member must take the lead. Who will lead us on the next leg of our journey here?
Borfield can go next. That's
All
fine.
right. Tell me, where do you go, Borbfield? What do you do?
I think, Borfield, it's been a while since he's seen the ocean or the sea breeze, and he's still high as a kite, so, the direction that the bunny was going, I feel like Borfield is just heading the same direction, not really looking around,
like
just
it.
gonna take us one more northeast towards the ocean.
Excellent. You head northeast towards the coast, skirting the edges of this little small wood near the rusted hills. Here, the grasses are greener than they are reddish. It is close enough to the coast that you probably can smell the salt, feel the dampness in the air as you travel. And the 4 of you are going to kind of find that the travel here is easygoing and like smooth. I'm not even going to ask you to roll a D100 because as you walk through here, you will find that there are dead creatures. Gnoll-like creatures, these twisted amalgamations of feather and fur, talon, beak, and claw that are exsanguinated, drained of every drop of blood, and without a few extra pieces of their bodies. Holes have been pierced through them like long teeth or daggers.
Uh-oh.
Could we investigate a bit further? Does it look like bat bites or like vampire bites that we could determine? Or
No,
is
they
it...
look larger. Perhaps, I don't know, 6 inches or so wide at the widest point. This would be very large bat bites or vampire bites or bat piercings. You see no signs of those kind of metallic tips of sturge beaks that had been found somewhere up northeast a little bit.
Now, Greg, I remember a situation where a large group of like these mutated gnolls was killed before, just on the edge of Antrim. I'm forgetting the circumstances. I think they were maybe
found
poisoned.
Poisoned, yes.
Yes. Is there any similarities between the wounds that those creatures suffered and the ones that we're finding now?
In fact, quite different. This seems to be a completely bled dry group. There is not a drop of moisture or blood inside of their bodies.
Okay.
And they are filled with holes, whereas the creatures that you found before looked bloated, they looked like distressed. I'm not going to say you know what that looks like because you probably hopefully have not seen a lot of dead bodies, but
yeah, sure.
They had the distended features of something that had died and rotted kind of naturally, although with poison.
Interesting. Do we see any tracks of anything?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check here as you look for tracks. If you would like to roll at survival, I will allow it, although I will make survival at disadvantage, just because of the nature of what you're looking for.
Does anybody have a good investigation? I will defer to the person whose turn it was.
Absolutely, Warpfield with his whole 8 intelligence. He's not even investigating. It's a vampire dragon. We're in trouble, boys. We need to get out of here.
Vampire dragon.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I have really good survival, so I'm willing to roll even if it's at disadvantage, unless somebody else wants to make a roll of some sort.
I mean, I've got a 4 to investigation.
I've got a 6 to survival, but disadvantage. So, yeah, if you want, go for it. Maybe you investigate. I can try surviving. I don't know. What do you want to call it?
I'm going to ask one quick question before I try to beat the check.
Yeah,
Does
what's
any of these bodies that we see look semi-fresh? Like freshly killed?
Yes.
If it's completely out of blood,
They're
don't
completely
slip
drained
mummified.
of blood. Are you willing to touch one of them, Mr. Red Hot? No, you're not Red Hot. Yeah. No, you're Frank's Red Hot.
I am red hot.
Yeah.
You can also call me Frank.
Frank,
Or Shirley.
yes.
You want to call me. Yes, I'm willing to touch one of them, and I would like to walk up,
Uh-huh.
like move the one that I see that looks like it has maybe the most color or the less like.
Mhm.
You know what I'm going to look for? I'm going to look for the one that has like the most color in it that looks like it might have had moisture recently. Like the ones that are dead are not only going to be sucked dry of blood, but they're going to be dried out.
Yeah.
And then I
So
was like-
what I will tell you then, is when you touch them, is they are not hot like they were just alive, but there is enough lingering warmth, perhaps just enough to the touch, that you think these have not laid out here for very long. They are within a day, or maybe just over, but no more.
Okay. Then I will spend 10 minutes.
Mhm.
I will cast Detect Magic as a ritual. And I will search over the ones that are the freshest, looking to see if I can find any signs of any lingering magical nature or spell effect
All
or
right.
anything else that draws with their life force. And maybe I'll see lines of magic moving away or something. So,
All right. While you spend your 10 minutes doing that, Melody, what were you trying to say here while the investigation was happening?
Melody has spent a lot of time with Clarence reading the notes from the last adventure, and this scene compares very favorably to what they encountered. So, understanding that this could be the infamous Iron Maiden and the horde of skeletons, she warns the rest of the party to be very cautious, and maybe even help Frank in the investigation of what are we looking for here.
All right. You give that warning out. If you can, see if you can get your mic a little closer to your mouth there. It was even lower there, I think, than we had before. But as you assist and Frank does his magical ritual, go ahead and give me that roll, Mr. Red Hot, so that we can see what you might find.
Ooh, that's a good roll.
20.
That is a very good roll.
Dirty 20.
Perhaps it is the knowledge of what might have done this that keens your eye. Perhaps it is the magic ley lines themselves that you looked for. But between Melody's warnings and your investigation, you will see that very nearby is not a track or a trail, it's not footprints, but instead a large depression in the grasses, almost in like a square, as if something had rested there and is no longer.
This Iron Maiden that you speak of, you think that location over there, and I point the depression, is where it was?
Would it have been big enough? Like the depression would have been the right
Oh
size?
yeah, it's like, hold on, I can give you an exact number. Give me a moment if you would.
This was the
Oh.
thing that was found under the mound over here, right? Like with the iron skeletons.
The
No.
stone
No.
impression would be 5, 10, 15, 20 by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we're talking like 400-ish square feet or more.
Well, that's a huge thing.
It's a very large impression. It's why I wanted you to investigate for it, because it is large enough that you could look into the center or around it and maybe miss the edges.
Is there any indication of where this thing went? Like did it hop away and there's just a series of these depressions?
No. Despite looking, Frank cannot find other impressions within a reasonable distance. Seems as if it were here and gone.
That's spooky.
We know it's attracted to blood. If I prickle my finger, do you guys want to try that? Shall we
If
try
he
and
pricks his
summon
finger
it?
and
or
I
are we-
start running so I don't get smushed.
I back 25 feet away from him and say, "Go right ahead."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Well,
you see your party members back away from you, and one of them sprinting as fast as his wily little legs can run. I guess we shouldn't call him wily. His bugsy little legs will run. But your blood just kind of drips down onto the grasses beneath you. It seems to draw no reaction from anything nearby.
okay. It's kind of scary that this thing is so close to the city now. I believe from spending some time with Chilgaius in the library, he would have told me that like the only real way they noticed it is with detection visibility. Is that correct? Do I remember correctly?
See invisibility was the spell cast to when it was found last session.
Hmm.
Oh, this was just found. Okay.
Yeah, this is very scary stuff, to be honest.
All right.
I
Well,
suggest we move on as soon as we can.
yeah.
All right. With that, party, you have moved closer to the coast in this kind of softer grassland. You leaving behind a few disturbing scenes. It is time once again to have a new party leader. Who is going to lead us for this next stage of our journey?
I'll take the next stage.
All
And I
right.
think we're going to go ahead, Galactic Northeast once again, moving another step closer, this time to the actual coast, as we
Indeed.
try to snake around the edge.
From what you could maybe feel the dampness in the air and smell and the salt, you now hear is the kind of crashing of the waves against rocky cliff sides catches up to you. You will eventually walk close enough that the spray of the water can be felt at times before bending back into the grasses. As you march, would you please roll me a D100, Mr. Hot Sauce, and let us see what may cost you.
95.
let's-
5. You have good news. You do not have good news. That is not the roll I thought it was. Mr. Red Hot, you are going to find other creatures drawn to the sea, the freshness of the salt. Would you please roll me a d10 to see who might have the advantage as the two of you meet?
I sure will.
All right, that is a 4. That is going to be a stalemate. You see them the same time they see you, returning from the nearby cliff sides of the coast. You are going to find large creatures, a dogre, if you will, beast of feather and talon, claw and fang, that is got like a fish or like a large aquatic creature, maybe a baby seal in its hand, half eaten, and being shared with a smaller gnoll-like creature of the same ilk. Party, if you would, meet me on this here page, and let us do battle. Monsters.
Oh god, I forgot how ridiculous my token is.
You forgot about the Garbfield mask?
Yep. I forgot I have a mascot. Oh god.
Very good. These two walk up the cliffside towards you, beasts in hand, ready to eat. As they do so, you see them and they see you. Party, if you would, roll me some initiative while I get our screen centered here. I have it zoomed in for the map. There we are.
Hey, Greg.
Yes, sir.
I cannot select my token.
You cannot select your token. All right, let me fix that for you. Oh, it doesn't represent your character. That's why. Frank.
I mean, dying and being reincarnated 25 times last session kind of,
Yeah.
helps you lose control of
Right.
senses, really.
Update
There we go.
default. Save.
I got
That
it.
should be good for you. Yeah.
Yep, got it.
All right, excellent. Go ahead and roll me into initiative here, as I can't open my monster handouts. ¿Por qué?
Do they get reincarnated as well?
I think they might be getting reincarnated as well. Well, I can at least play some battle music, probably, while we wait for my handouts to open. Can I pop this out? I am refreshing Roll20. Excuse the...
Boys, run away! They're stunned! Run!
They're stunned, indeed.
Try to fix the audio on my end. Is this better now?
You're definitely
hearing you a lot better.
more like audible. Like we can hear you better.
Okay. Get there.
Oh my goodness. It opened. Quickly, click buttons.
Ah,
Next button, go. All right, initiative done. Maybe. Did it roll? Yes, it did. Excellent.
sure did.
Turn order. Borbfield! In a shocking twist, you are the first to react. Mr. Borbfield, what will you do?
Just answer one question for me.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
they see us. We see them, they see us.
Yeah.
Do they, like, immediately turn hostile?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
do
they
we
want to
see
kill
the
you
blood-
dead for sure. More meat. There's a cat man in front of them. They haven't tasted cat before. They're ready.
You know, Borfield was high as a kite, but, sensing blood, it just, like, woke him up. He's just gonna beeline towards the knoll here.
All
And
right.
he is going to try and cut him in half with a single swing of his Great Axe, trying to use the new feature that he gained, the Great Weapon Master.
Excellent. You do exactly that. Your great axe flying out as you charge this gnoll-like creature, dropping the baby seal half devoured, getting its claws and fangs ready to meet you. Go ahead and roll to hit for me.
I would like to also recklessly attack this creature.
Oh, please do. Yes. That is a 16. That is going to be enough. To your axe slices through this creature's like heavy, dense fur and feather like hide
For 21 damage?
for 21 damage. He has 22 health. Your axe slashes through this creature near in twain. A heavy gash causes blood to spurt out upon you and the ground in front of it. But the creature holds on for just a moment.
That pisses me off so much that I rage as a bonus action. I should have raged and I would have killed him, but I was hoping for a second attack.
It makes you so mad you rage. Excellent. Borbfield flies into a rage at his misfortune of not cutting this creature down, and the Dogre turns and thinks, he's got this shit. And he's just gonna walk past you up to the bunny rabbit, who's the next closest. Would you like to make an attack of opportunity at this Dogre?
Oh, most certainly I would, sir.
Excellent.
Once again, reckless attack still going, so
Absolutely
this is gonna
is.
be an advantage.
That is an 8-7. That is not gonna get it done. Your axe slices into like the fur and like feathers of this creature's big belly, and a few of them go flying up. Some feathers fall around you, but the creature walks past unscathed as it goes.
As a borderline cat, I get distracted by the feathers, so I kind of start playing with them in the air.
With that, the creature is going to pick up a large rock that it just happened to like have nearby, and it looks to this bunny rabbit and this back line of a wizard and an archer, and it thinks, I want to smash. And it is going to bring this rock down in an area to try to get everybody in front of it. I would like the three of you to make for me dexterity saving throws, a DC 13, to escape this creature's attack.
Oh, let's go.
All three of you scatter. Please move your token 1 square in any direction as you disappear from the like area of effect of this rock. It slams down, tremors in the grassland, the strength of this creature on full display, and it roars in frustration. But Melody, you are the next to gain the initiative as you nimbly duck away. What do you do?
First thing she's gonna do is bardically inspire Frank's Red Hot.
Okay.
Then take a couple steps away and notch an arrow and shoot at the Dogre.
Excellent. Your arrow flies true and will penetrate, perhaps using the like grazing of Borbfield's axe to find a little bit of purchase. Go ahead and roll me some damage. For 6 points of damage. Excellent. All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Dagnab, it comes to you. You finish rolling away from this rock only to see a little arrow protruding from this thing's belly. What do you do?
I'm gonna bring out my newly enhanced squeaky hammer, and I am gonna go for it.
All right. You take the accordion hammer out. It squeaks out a song to us. Go ahead and make that roll. 19 will hit for 10 points of damage upon the creature.
Sorry, that should only be 8.
That will be 8 points then. Excellent.
And then I am going to go and just do an offhand unarmed attack.
All right, please do.
Oh wait,
Him in the
sorry, I have
shin.
to do a flurry of blows, so I get to do 2 attacks.
Excellent. Spend that key point, and you hurl your fists into this creature. Pop, pop, striking him true twice. Go ahead and roll me damage.
That's
Holy moly.
14 more
7
points.
and then 7.
Excellent.
Very good.
Don't you get...
Yes. Oh, and then I do. Yes, I do
You get
the.
one more,
so
right?
it's been forever since we
Yeah,
played.
yeah, yeah.
Haven't played Among the Moon. So yeah, so I do get the unarmed strike as a bonus action. So I get to do one more.
Right.
All right, 20.
That'll also hit. Roll me another 7. Oh, never mind. You don't get to go to Vegas. But you do get 19 points of damage on this creature, which is quite a hefty toll. You just pop him right in the belly. It jiggles around, and it turns its attention to you in clear pain. It starts like holding its chest. But that brings us to our 1 HP friend who has seen all of his health and his life flash before his eyes, all those delicious baby seals. And in a moment, it will multi-attack you, Mr. Barbarian. He wants some Borbfield revenge. He will make 1 bite attack and 2 attacks with his knife-like claws that some might even call a short sword. But first, the bite. At advantage, since you reckless. He is still reeling from pain, though, as he reaches out. He cannot, like, lunge forward without, like, all of his guts falling out. But his claws will come at you just as quickly. With a 19, will that strike you?
Absolutely it will.
Excellente. Borbfield, please take for me 3 points of piercing, which I'm sure becomes 1 when you have it.
Yep.
And its final attack will come with its second set of claws. This one with a 23, that will also get the job done. Please take 4 more piercing damage. And then the creature looks at you, like, mostly unharmed, and looks at itself, and it decides, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And it is gonna try to run away, straight away from you to the south. As it does, you have already used your attack of opportunity, so it gets to just move. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Blah. To the bottom of the map. Excellent. Frank's Red Hot. It has come all the way down to you. You have dodged away from the rock. You feel inspired by the words of Melody. What do?
Frank is pissed, Greg, because that little knoll ruined my fun geometry, maybe jokey spell. He ran away from me, and I'm pissed at it. So I'm going to take a step 5 feet this way, 5 feet this way. I'm going to pelt a magic missile, 1 at the knoll that ran
All
away.
right.
So
I'm
well
not going to
within
make you
range.
even roll that damage. It dies. What is your, Frank, we have a long lineage of McAwesome sauces.
Yes.
How does your magic differ from your Nomish brothers?
It's Frank's Red Hot for a reason, Greg.
Okay.
All of his magic is steeped in fire and spiciness or thunder because it's Frank's Red Hot sauce. It's spicy on the way in and thunderous on the way out. That's how it works.
Okay.
So Frank has fiery red hair, and you see it nearly ignite, almost like it's on fire, as he points a finger out, and 3 magic missiles fly. 2 are going at the ogre.
Excellent.
1 goes to eliminate the knoll.
The first one eliminates the knoll. It dies in a thunderous poof. And then 2 will strike this Dogre as it takes 9 points of damage, bloodied from your Scoville-inspired missiles.
And then I'll finish a little bit of movement to right here, and that'll be my turn.
All right, excellent. Borbfield, it comes back around to you. Your prey has run away and then been killed by somebody else. What is going through your mind, Borbfield? What do?
I am not really interested in the knoll anymore, as I see the wizard kind of turn Super Saiyan God for a second. I stand in awe. I'm just gonna approach the Dogre and try to finish the fight, but I am in awe of this wizard looking like a Super Saiyan.
All right, Borbfield, go ahead and make me an attack as you eye this.
Oh my god.
That is another 8. That is unfortunately not enough to strike true. Your axe once again repelled by the thick hide, not even so much hide as much thick matted fur and feathers of this creature. A few more poof up around you.
That's it for me.
All right, excellent. That makes the Dogre's turn. He's surrounded on both sides, and this creature is rockless. It got rid of its rock. It has to make attacks. Who does it decide to go after? You know what? One guy has missed him twice, and one guy made his belly jiggle with tremendous force. It takes up its hands and puts them together in like a big club-like fashion and brings it down upon our dear friend, the Wascally Wabbit. A 21, I believe, hits you with your AC. Will you please take for me 9 bludgeoning damage, Mr. Dagnab?
Yeah, so happy to do that for you.
Excellent, I'm glad. And with that, our dear friend, you know, he can't really do his thing because his buddy died too far away from him. So he's just gonna stay there. He's just in fight mode. Melody, it comes to you as you see your friend being battered. What do?
Notch another quick arrow and try to pierce that guy.
All right, your arrow flies true, striking right in front of Borbfield so he can see how it's done for 5 more points of damage.
Rude.
Anything else with your turn, Melody?
Nope, that will be it.
All right, Dagnab, you've just been bludgeoned by this thing's ham fists. What do?
All right. So I think I'm gonna take a little bit of a different strategy here. Because if I do something, so All right. I have my my bouncy hammer, which does more damage, but I'm gonna use it as like a way to parry, and instead I'm just doing a rapid flurry of palm strikes against this guy's belly.
All right, you get that nice bony palm ready to go, and you whomp him. Go ahead and give me some rolls to hit here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my goodness! That is a crit and 3 hits. Roll me all that sweet, beautiful damage. We have 14,
Jesus.
24, 32 points of damage. Dagnab, I want you to describe how your flurry of belly, like palm fists, end this creature.
So you know how you're not supposed to like microwave an egg, and the reason is because it's the perfect length that the vibrations from the microwave just cause it to explode. So what I've done is the vibrations from my hand just hit him so rapidly, caused this dude's stomach to just explode.
Oh, he explodes like an egg that gave my brother a 2nd-degree burn. And is no more. The battle ends, viscera covering the battlefield from that eggy explosion. Party, you stand victorious. What do you do?
I think
gonna
it's been
wipe it off.
established these creatures don't have anything valuable ever on them.
Not much, no. These creatures carry nothing manufactured or man-made. Rarely have much in the way of metals, precious or otherwise.
Well, let's get out of here before something comes to take all their blood.
Yeah, good call. I do want to go take a look in the direction where they're walking and see if I can see where they got these fish.
All right. You
in the
go
ocean.
take a look, leaving behind this the scene for a moment, and you find a path down this kind of high cliff upon which your grasslands are to the ocean itself. It seems almost like a game trail to you, as the party has kind of hugged the coast. And here you will find a commonly easily accessible point to the waters itself. As you search around, go ahead and give me a survival wisdom check to see about fishing and viability. 14. That is reasonably good, but not perfect. So what you are going to notice is that this area is, in fact, reasonably decent fishing. There is a, ecosystem here, but it is not on the level that would support a village or a city. You think that between the creatures that visit here, you maybe see some small seal populations. This is largely a resting point, where sometimes you might catch something, but the creatures, the sea creatures, especially the one being eaten by this Dogre, are using the calm waters here to rest before heading deeper into the ocean.
I was gonna ask, but you answered my question. By any chance, if there's 1,000 seals, just defensively
out.
waiting to be slaughtered, but
There are, as you approach, there are in fact a couple of seals here. There are about 3 of them, eyeing you cautiously. One of them on a rock in the water, a couple more on the coast. But they seem a little nonplussed, if it were possible, as if the seals are used to things approaching, but they are not letting you get much closer. They'll kind of keep their distance if you try to approach.
you guys want some meat?
I prefer seal hunting season over rabbit hunting season.
Okay.
I think we just continue on our journey.
All right. you leave behind this little alcove and the bodies of your enemies, and will continue instead on your journey. I believe that should have costed you an exploration point to travel, which will bring us to 2 for the day. And I believe our last party member to lead, Melody. Tell me, as you leave this scene behind, what do you do as the leader of the party? Where do you go? What's your plan?
We push on forward north along the coast. Yeah, let's keep looking at fishing spots along the water.
Absolutely. You are going to push along the north of this little inlet, or this, I don't know, cove, following the cliffside. You will see another couple of instances where you could have come down to the water, but for the most part, the grassland is easier to traverse than the kind of rocky cliffs and shallow beaches that are treacherous underfoot. So you stay above them as you travel along. Go ahead and move your token to your new tile, and as you do, would you roll me a D100 to see if you maybe find an encounter along the way? An 83, brilliant. Oh, I had to refresh Roll20, that's right. My encounter table is here. On an 83, Melody, you are going to find a creature that is not here. You are far enough away from the hills that this beast does not come to the coast. Water and its ilk do not mix. So this is a calm day. Your afternoon, late and early evening go by without notice or adventure or mishap.
Splendid.
All right. With that, you have 1 exploration point left in the day, party. Do you guys want to do something with it? Or is it time to make camp as the last bit of light of your day is yours to use?
We would have to force march if we wanted another movement.
Correct. If you moved 1 more, you would be going your 5th tile, which would be our force march rules.
Is there any point to short resting at this point?
No.
Okay. Let's just explore here. Who knows?
All right. Dagnab, you seem to be
Yeah.
a lead in the party here. Tell me, how do you explore this hex? How do you suss out its secrets?
Well, I think that we're all interested in some long-term fishing prospects. So, what I'll do is, because I'm very good at this, I hop along from crag to crag while the others are staying further away from the cliffside, and I'll just be looking down, seeing if there's any good fishing spots anywhere.
I like it. You hop around as bunnies do from rocky place to rocky place, hoping to find a nice little fishing hole or something of note. Go ahead and roll for me. I'm gonna say acrobatics dexterity to use your hops to get to places that other people wouldn't easily get to, expand your range. That is a 16, which will easily clear your DC here next to the Tarnished Hills and the Mistwood. You will find a discovery of some sort. Do you find fishing in this hex? Just 1 north. You do not find fishing here, but you will instead find something else. Here amongst the coastlines, you are going to find something very similar to what you have seen before, in fact, Dagnab. Upon the cliff face, you see something shine out of the corner of your eye, and you make your way over towards it, and you will find the impact site of something bronze and mechanical. Lying in the lapping waters of the coast, you find a lizard-like skeletal creature with rusted mechanical, not wings, but legs, almost inverted as if they were meant to jump. Despite their
All right.
age and rust, they do seem mostly intact, though, as the water laps around them.
I'm so excited. Okay, so which one of you wants to get their legs cut off and replaced with robot legs?
Oh, it has to be the wizard, right?
Unless you guys want me to continue turning myself into like a cyborg, which I am down to do it too. Last time went so well, you know.
Yeah, how are those doing? As I look at your back.
Well, they allow me to fly 20 feet, but they're broken. But you know, they're not perfect, you know.
Greg, I am a tinkerer.
You are a tinkerer.
Oh my
Yes,
god!
I am.
Can you install even better hopping legs on me?
I would love to, but I don't have any tools because they're very expensive, and I'm very broke.
What about we bring these legs with us?
Okay.
And this can be a future thing, maybe the two of us partner on.
Yes, I like this plan.
Awesome,
Alright.
and maybe you'll even be able to figure out how to fix my wings in the process.
I would
Cool.
love to try.
Let's do it. Can we try to like just remove these
Yeah,
legs?
absolutely. How would you like to remove them? Much like the wings before that were fused to the skeletal spine of this creature, these two are fused to the bottom of its spine, like through the hips, as if the spinal like cord itself was used to I don't know, power this, much the way your own feelings through your back help you use those wings. And
Well, thankfully we've got someone here who's like strong enough that could yank someone's spine out, right, Lordfield?
I was born for this, is like kind of, start flexing a
all
little
right,
bit.
Boardfield, step up. It is a DC 10 to unclip the legs from the bottom of the spine without breaking anything super important. I'm going to allow you to use your strength and I think athletics. I think this is just a pure like rip it out for me.
But you know what? The way I do it is I
Uh-huh.
don't grab the legs. I actually grab the spine and I try to rip the spine off, or like the hips off the legs
yes,
instead.
yes. You try to give him the finish him. Yeah, I like it. Go for it.
And as the night is almost over, would you allow me to rage to gain that extra?
Oh, please.
extra
Yeah,
edge?
it's infuriating how much this lizard spine is like holding onto the metal legs.
Yeah. There we go.
Ooh.
It crumbles in my hand.
I don't know
Will be later
how
today.
impressive this looks to everyone else, but to anyone who was 8 years old when Mortal Kombat came out, this was the greatest moment in the history of the world, as Boardfield just rips the spine out of the skeleton of this creature, leaving the like ribs and the skull and the femurs and everything. Well, I guess there's no femurs. The arms intact. Everything is there but the spine that is now in his hand. And then his face turns into a lizard and he buries fire on it and it disappears. This is not canonical, but
I
in
won't
my
let you
head.
digest,
Yeah.
Greg. Thank you.
As the legs are now yours. Each leg will weigh 20 pounds each. They are fairly heavy and made of seemingly solid brass. But I believe with a barbarian and some pack animals, you are able to.
This is
carry
why
this.
I've got a mule, Greg.
Yeah, exactly.
my
Greg, quick
cyborg
question for
quest.
you. Can I use these legs with great clubs?
Oh my god, don't damage them. We still want
If
to
you
install
would
them.
like to use the brass leg as an improvised weapon, you absolutely can. It is heavy and it will swing good.
Perfect. I'll kick somebody to death, but in a weird way.
I will kick them with my arms. All right. Yeah, the legs are yours. You can pack them up and leave with them if you would so desire.
Awesome.
Any other valuables around this carcass?
No. You take a look around, Melody. You see where there was like a large impact into the cliffside here, like I don't know, about 30 feet above where the lapping waters are now kind of taking away the rest of the skeleton. But beyond this this kind of almost crater in the cliffs, you see nothing of value or particular note in the area.
Are there any spare parts or bits that have been scattered about through either the ripping of the spine or the impact?
I like the way you think. Unfortunately, though, I'm not going to ask you for a check because the answer is no. There
Okay.
are no cogs or bits and pieces that you can find. Despite being a tinker and knowing what to look for, they just simply aren't there.
That's a great sign. That means these legs are well constructed, Dagnab. There's no bits that have fallen off them. We'll
All
make
right.
you a robot yet.
Okay, well that gives me some comfort that when he wants to use them as a club, you know.
Yeah. Just get him a bigger club.
All right.
Tell him
We
to
can do
use the
that.
spine as a whip, and then he won't smash the legs.
That's actually a really great idea. Okay. I do have one question I'm curious though.
Yeah.
Is there any indication of where this guy would have jumped from?
If you want to do some quick maths, and you think he could jump around the same distance that you can fly extra, you think he jumped from like a shore or a rock, like some I don't know, 30 feet from the impact site in the cliff. Maybe there was a small rock here that he was jumping on, much the way you were. Perhaps he fell down here, was trying to get back up. But
Something like that wouldn't create an impact crater, would it? It would like
maybe.
okay.
Maybe the legs allow you to make like a stomping thingy. Who knows? You wanna try
It's
them on?
superhero
I can
legs,
throw those up.
yeah. Superhero legs, superhero wings. It always impacts when you land.
You always
you
land
wanna
in the
try them on?
superhero pose.
I hadn't been imagining this before now, but now I am. Except I guess mine are like faulty, so it's like superhero pose, but then I'm like off balance.
Tip over the right crash.
You're the Falcon, but it's just always a little bit of a comedy sketch.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was awesome.
All right. With that, the night will quickly come as you have used the last of your exploration points, party. You are forced to rest. You get yourselves back up this cliffside away from the lapping waters, and we'll set up camp for the night. As the evening surrounds you, tell me, party, what is your night in the wilds like? How do you spend it, and what is your, I don't know, I guess mood collectively as you begin camping?
I mean, I think I'm probably just like cleaning the dead body off of these metal legs.
I mean, it wasn't enough. It was literally a skeleton. So like, if anything, you're cleaning
Okay.
like barnacles off of it that have like collected
Sure,
from
yeah,
the waters. Yeah.
I think standing immediately behind Dagdab while he's cleaning, Frank is observing and like looking and messing around with the wings on his back, trying to figure out what went wrong, what's broken, and how we can fix it. Well, he also warns the party to watch out for satyrs.
Okay.
Just satyrs? What's wrong with satyrs? I thought they were cool.
Everything is wrong with satyrs. They die on sight. If one comes by, I'm going to shoot it with something.
Okay, all right. So don't go get drinks with them. Gotcha.
Nope. Don't trust them. Don't drink anything they have.
All right. With dire warnings of satyr magic and a tinkering that goes well into the night, I would like each of you to roll me a D100, as the night can be full of surprises and who knows what it might bring. We will set the difficulty by the lowest roll, as you are not in a particularly dangerous area. We have a 5 as our nighttime encounter. That is no encounter. It is a peaceful night after the tinkering dies down and the campfire dwindles. You all find a restful night's sleep. All of you may regain all spells and class features associated with a long rest in the player's handbook. As well, you may spend any number of hit dice that remain in your pool to regain hit points. At the end of your night's rest, I would like each of you to mark one ration that you have consumed, and then you may regain 1/2 of your hit dice pool rounded up to be used in the next day.
just before everybody goes down, need of healing anyone? Because I could cast a few healing words before we turn in.
Yeah, I mean, I
Perf-
just rolled the hit dice, but you know, use it on someone else, I guess, because I'll just get it back.
Right.
I think we're okay, but I believe it's very nice to have a bard in the party, you know, throughout the night, maybe a couple of songs by the fireplace, etc., by the fire.
Excellent.
It's a little bit more peaceful than regular nights.
Yeah, I ask him to yodel for me while I sleep.
I need to hear the yodel in order to sleep. All right, morning will come, dawn bright and early on the coast. As you hear the cries of birds, the party packs up and is ready to explore once more. You have 6 brand spanking new exploration points to use as you have rested up. We'll return to our map here. Party, who's going to lead us on the first portion of our second day?
Warpkill will take us around the bend, or start taking us around the bend of the shoreline.
Excellent. I assume
There
you
we
were
go.
moving eastward? Yes. You will find this to be a track much like the ones that you were making before. Cliffs kind of jut down to a lapping coast below. You can smell the salt and hear the crashing of the coastal waters. But you often stay to the high side of these cliffs as the coast is both rocky and soft and difficult to traverse, and the grasslands above are much easier. As you walk these grasslands, would you roll me a d100 to see if there's any that avails you, anything that avails you in this morning journey?
Absolutely. You know, the first day they didn't let me roll a d100 because he knew I was gonna roll 100, but now I'm feeling under 10.
Oh, it was almost 100. You needed an extra 0 there. But a 10 is a peaceful journey. There is no encounter aboard field as you push your way forward. The sea breeze is calming, perhaps, and the journey very easygoing. As you arrive in this hex, it is time to get a new party leader. You have 5 exploration points left to go. Who will lead us in this next part of the journey?
I'll go next, and this is just testing something, Greg, because
Yeah.
we were a little uncertain how you consider hexes sometimes. Would moving here be like feasible, or is that just considered entirely ocean and we have to go around it?
Yeah, so my general rule of thumb with hexes is the majority of the hex.
Okay.
in the instance that you have here, I'm just gonna move this out of the way so I can like show. There's only like a little bit of coastline in that. The vast majority of that hex is ocean, right? But
Okay.
this hex here, right, that we have, is more or less half and half. And I'm gonna rule on the half and half any way I want. I will be inconsistent, but when it comes to can
Okay.
I traverse it around the coast, I will allow it for sure. To try to make that.
All right, so then we'll move to this one instead.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. And you do so. You march your way under Dagnab's leadership, taking another exploration point here. Here you are going to get closer to a woods that has been lightly explored. The trees are shadowy behind you as the coast is sunny in front of you. You don't see the forest itself, but you will begin to see more trees in this area as they begin to dot the grassy landscapes that you mostly walk. As you do, would you roll me a d100 for a potential encounter? A 41, I think, might lead us somewhere fun. Let's see. On a 40 to 41, there are definitely some creatures on the prowl that may find their way to you. Would you roll me a d10 to see who may have the advantage or see who first? A 7, I believe that is a stalemate, 4 to 7. You will see them the same time that they see you. Party, as you are marching along, you dip a little bit farther away from the coastline as the cliffs themselves seem a bit less tenable here, a little steeper, the coast a little less manageable. And as you do, creatures from that aforementioned forest come rushing down, as if they are hunting for something and have gotten your scent. They are bird-like with large axe-like beaks, and they are hunting in a pack straight down from the north, and they spot you and screech their war cry as they charge. Party, if you will join me on this hastily construed battle map, roll me initiative and let us do battle. Why is this? There we go. My Roll20 is so slow today. Holy moly. Did that even roll? It did. There we go. It went through. Excellent. Party! I see our initiative order is set. Frank's Red Hot, you are the first to react as these creatures cry their battle cry and rush towards you. What do you do?
Are these creatures being ridden by somebody like in
No,
the
the
token?
token has a rider, but these creatures are riderless. They are simply the birds.
Wonderful. Frank is going to take a step down and a step over to put himself in the crook of the rock so he can't be surrounded. He's going to fire a firebolt at this one right in front right here.
Excellent. You get yourself nice and cozy with the rocks, and you let ray of fire coming from your fingertips. Go ahead and roll me damage as your firebolt hits true. 6 points of damage. You smell perhaps a sickening smell of burning feather as the creature screeches again at you. Dagnab.
That'll be my turn.
Yes, Dagnab. It'll come to you as the cries of this creature reach you. What do you do?
Well, obviously, I'm gonna do something funny. So, what I'm gonna
Obviously.
do is go up here, and I think that what happens is, if we can imagine, because obviously, like, with this map, it's static, of course, but if you can imagine, these guys are running around like this little rocky area, and I think what Dagnab does is that he stretches out just a big rubber band at like ankle height between two rocks. He like puts it over a rock and then pulls it back, and so the to try to get the creature to run through it and then like be flung back.
All right,
Hurting
you
it.
set up a large rubber band trap. Like, you hook the rock in front of you, you pull it out yourself to see if this creature will run into it. What are you using to represent this rubber band attack? What is this?
I figured like a sling.
A
made the most
sling
sense.
attack? I am happy to take a sling attack. Go ahead and make me a roll to hit with that.
All right. And yeah, I guess even with a sling, it could be. Well, I'm gonna go up and punch it later anyway, so I can stay there.
I like it. That
oh.
11, unfortunately, is not enough. It seems this rubber band that you got from Acme just is not made for birds, as it just perches on the rubber band like Tweety Bird taunting you.
Well, then I'm gonna try to kick it.
Excellent. You go ahead and throw some kicks at it. I guess, are you spending
And
your
I'll
precious
flurry of
juice?
blows. Why not?
All right.
Yeah.
You throw some kicks at this taunting bird, striking true with all three of them. Go ahead and roll me damage. 8, 15, 21 points of damage. You kick this thing off the rubber band. You punch it. You stomp on it. You slay it outright. It falls. All right.
That's what you get for avoiding my traps.
Melody, it will come to you after you see this carnage in front of you. What do you do?
All right, I'll move a little bit this way. Bardically inspire the barbarian, because it sorely needs it, apparently. And then
Sadly nod.
and then viciously mock this bird by making fun of it being already alone 6 seconds after rush it out.
Oh, you're making fun of its loneliness. My goodness, this creature is going to have to save. Fortunately, it's somewhat wise. Oh, you know what? Just because you're alone doesn't mean you're lonely. And it ignores your mocking.
That's my turn.
All right. With that, these creatures will go. The first creature that is so very lonely rushes forward and will attempt to avenge its fallen packmate with a beak attack against our monk. It will miss, feeling really sad about life. These two, however, are a unit. They are happy to rush forward. This one climbing this rock easily without any effort. Its big steps naturally help it surround Borbfield. And this creature, one more forward, please. There we go. These creatures will attack at advantage with their pack tactics to...
I would like to take an attack of opportunity against...
yes, it will run right past you. Please make an attack of opportunity.
Alright. So, I guess I'll just do unarmed. There we go.
That'll hit for 6 points of damage. Beautiful. You punch it on the way by. It like kind of like rattles its feet for a little bit, but it manages to get back up on the rock, where it will try to damage Borbfield. Borbfield, a 10 is likely not going to strike you down. The second one, using that attack as a like option to get inside of you, goes for a 19. I think we established that hits. Please take 7 points of slashing damage, while this takes 6 points of bunny punching damage. Oh.
No worries, no worries.
Borbfield, it comes to you. You've been slashed. You are surrounded by these large, hungry creatures. What do you do?
Remind me about Bardic Inspiration. Do I have to declare it before I roll, or can I declare it after the roll?
I'm pretty loosey-goosey on stuff, but by rule, it should be before.
So I will recklessly attack the wounded Axebeak first in that case. I will roll that with Bardic Inspiration as well.
Excellent.
As I pull out my axe, and as it comes in for a bite, I will essentially crit it.
So,
Bye-bye.
by letter of the law, Bardic Inspiration says it must be declared before I tell you whether you hit or miss. Would you like to keep that in your pocket with a 20 on the dice?
Yes, I most certainly
Wow,
will.
you crit the creature! Go ahead and roll me some damage.
This is gonna be pretty big because I'm a half-orc and I get to roll an extra
heck
dice of damage,
yes.
essentially.
Half-orc crit build is
He's
the
gonna take
best.
41 damage.
This thing has 13 health, 19 max. You obliterate this creature. Your axe strikes through its neck, and is such a devastating attack. I want you to automatically cleave. Please roll a regular to hit against the creature that is 5 feet from it. And if you hit, the remaining damage will go on this creature.
Perfect. Do I get to keep advantage on the hit from reckless attack or no?
I want you to just roll a regular attack. Yeah, no, not with the advantage.
No worries.
That hits as well. The remaining, like, 20-something damage instantly hits this creature as well. You just see Borbfield, like, swing his axe in a crescent, and it just takes the head off of both of these creatures, one after the other. They both fall to the ground, dying instantly.
Borbfield kind of looks at his axe, and he's like, it finally happened. After many years it happened. I hit something. I would like to approach this little bird here that is fighting the monk.
Absolutely.
And I would like to use my bonus action to attack, because I killed the creature
Yeah,
with my first swing.
Yeah,
That's going to allow
absolutely.
me to bonus action attack.
go for it. That is a 15. That's gonna hit, I think. Yeah, definitely.
Even if it didn't hit, I would have the bardic dice on
Right,
top,
yes, yeah. You're
might as well use it.
Yeah.
And then damage-wise is going to be 22.
Oh, buddy. All right. You know what? Heads are your thing. 22 is more health than this thing has. You take 3 heads in rapid succession. One big swing, taking 2. You heft it over your shoulder, walk up to this thing. You don't even need 2 hands on this axe. You just whack this thing's head off too. And as quickly as the danger started, it ends. The party victorious, standing over the corpses of these axe beaks. What do you do?
Not as fun as my rubber bands. But effective.
Quite.
You know what they say, an executioner always has a mask on, right? A slightly different one, but still a mask.
Yeah? Yeah?
So these were just like big birds, right?
Essentially, yes. They are large beasts. They are birds, feathers, beak, talons, the whole 9 yards. Notable about them, their beak is this large square-like beak that comes together sharpened on the end, almost like an axe. But it is natural, I guess it is beaky. It is a natural beak. It's not like man-made beak or something.
Cool.
I look towards the wizard and the bard, and I'm like, do they have like flight feathers or something you can use for your wizarding spells?
I have no
Fried
idea.
chicken.
I mean, the fried chicken idea sounds great, but we should maybe collect what we can from him.
All right. It sounds like Frank is leading the way here on our Axebeak. I would like for you, since this is a beast, I want this to be a nature check, nature intelligence. This is DC 10 plus its CR. This is DC 10.25.
Okay,
5, okay.
I fail.
It doesn't seem like there's anything of value that you can scrounge from these creatures. Nothing tickles your memory or your tinkering habits.
Oh dang.
They look too gamey, dagnab. Let's get some fish.
All right.
All right.
Corrupted by the mists. Let's get going.
Excellent. With
All
that,
the good meat was in their neck, but it's gone. You know.
With that, Borpfield leads the party away from this scene, and the party will move on. You arrive in the designated hex. You still have some time left in the day. I believe this is only your 3rd movement, meaning you have 3 exploration points left to go. Party, who is going to lead us for this next part of our investigation, or I guess travel, adventure, and what are you going to do with it?
I'll take the lead. I'm going to go southeast, moving ever closer to the cave on the coast that we are aiming for today.
All right, you take the party southeast, another exploration point down. As you do, you kind of leave behind some of the worst of not the worst, but the few trees that were scattered here and there. You get into a more proper grassland. Much of this little coastal region has been kind of drier grasses than you find here, and I described them as wet in comparison to the Tarnished Hills, but these grasslands, as you move farther south towards this peninsula, are truly damp. Mud sucks at your feet as much on the plains above as the coast below. This seems to be an area that has a much more rain to it, as if whatever is affecting the drier Tarnished Hills has lost its reach this far. And as you push your way forward, go ahead and roll me a D100 here for a potential encounter.
I rolled a 94 and a 95.
Can I not let him roll ever?
Die.
A 94 would be the same encounter that you killed a day ago, which means we have to see whether or not that encounter has repopulated. Mr. Redhot, I want to know highs or lows.
Yeah. We're gonna go with highs.
Highs it is. That is an 18. You have no encounter. The creatures have not returned yet to this place. All right. You arrive. It is getting later in the day, but you still have some time left. There are 2 exploration points left to be used as you have marched, I believe, 4 hexes here today. Party, or have you only gone 3? I think you've gone 3.
Only 3.
Yeah, no. Okay, so you should have 3 exploration points, and you have moved 3, which means that one of you has not taken lead of the party. Is it Melody, perchance?
Correct.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
All right, Melody, you are in control. What will you do as you lead the party in this next section of our adventure?
We'd love to go south and again rejoin the coast, look for fishing villages, and get closer to this coastal cave.
Absolutely. You make your way southward along the coastline. Here, the grasses and the coast bleed more firmly together. The waters lapping up against tall grasses and bushes, and places it almost feels swamp-like to wander this part of the coast. Go ahead and move your token farther south, and as you do, would you roll me a D100 on encounters? A 63. On a 60 to 63, you would normally find a stone resource, but here in this peninsula, you do not find stone. Instead, Melody, as you walk this watery way, you find an abandoned stone, like town, small hamlet. There is a scattering of stone buildings that are clearly man-made and ancient, weathered and smooth. Many are missing roofs and are lopsided, but still they stand. Some number of houses, let us see. There's some like 13 buildings here. They are reasonably large. You think that they could fit maybe a small family, but none of them the size of like a merchant building or anything. All of them quite weathered.
Shall we investigate a little bit to see what is left in these remains?
You absolutely
Yeah,
can.
sure.
Before we go in, could I stop the party for 1 second? Like, we've encountered dozens and dozens of gnolls and ogres and other creatures, but we never really saw where they live or where they sleep or anything along those lines. Just be careful, as I believe there might be creatures inside these houses.
Okay. Borbfield gives a dire warning, but it sounds like the party is investigating.
Yeah,
You
I'm
walk
gonna
up to
scare
these
Borbfield.
buildings to get a better look. And what you will find is... why can't I find my abandoned settlement? There we go. What you will find is these stone buildings are relatively well preserved despite being weathered. Most of the stonework you have found out here in the mist is broken, crumbled, almost unrecognizable as stonework outside of like the large city. But here, these things are fairly well preserved. Some places are missing roofs. The stone is worn smooth and rounded in places. Some places are broken, but many of these houses, even the majority, still stand with 4 walls. But what is immediately evident is that the doors and windows are open. Not broken or hanging off their hinges, but just open as if expecting a return. There are ruined tools in rotting baskets left in yards and windowsills as if set down in the middle of work. And the whole place just gives you an empty, abandoned vibe.
Question for you, Greg.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard a tale of a previous adventure, very early on in this in the history here, of coming across an abandoned village where it seemed time had stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dagnab is going to be wanting to monitor the sky and see if it looks like time is changing.
I like
Here.
that. Go ahead and give me a perception check. I'm gonna give you advantage. That's just the way 5e works. For using your memory of a different adventure that might play a good role here. All right, that is a. If Roll20 will roll, I heard it beep. A 20! That is a very successful check. Dagnab, you monitor the sky for some time while your party kind of explores around, seeing these ruined tools and open doors. And you are going to notice that the sky does move. The clouds like kind of pass by. The sun imperceptibly shifts below the horizon. The winds kind of push things through. You get the feeling, watching your surroundings, that this differs from the time stopped village. Here it seems time is passing, though abandoned, it seems.
Yeah, we never really figured out what happened to that village either, but it seems something different going on. All right, well, never mind then. But good thought.
Definitely.
Do we stealthily enter some of the buildings to look inside?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Nobody found.
Melody, you stealthily head inside one of these buildings. You find much the same as the exterior. Through the open door, you will find the kind of remains of a weathered like home. There is obviously like wooden furniture in here that has rotted, fallen apart to time. Some of it recognizable as perhaps a cupboard at one point, or perhaps a wardrobe. Some of it completely unrecognizable and complete disrepair. There is a kind of consistent theme of fishing. You find fishing wire, fishing nets, and like rotted through, many of them dissipated, but enough survived. Ruined tools that you eventually feel are made for, you know, the spear fishing, the reeling things in, cages for crabs perhaps that have just barely survived in recognizable form. All of it in disrepair, all of it just set down as if in the middle of something, and long abandoned.
Now, Greg, you said that the roofs, which I'm assuming are made out of like thatch, and the doors, which I'm assuming are made out of wood, were all still intact?
Most of them, yes. Some doors are missing, some roofs are missing, but a small percentage compared to the majority of these like 13 homes.
Now, are those clearly like degraded and worn out too, or do they look like they were replaced?
Definitely. Everything
Okay,
here has seen the ravages of time. Just some of it has survived better than others. In fact, most of this has survived better than a lot of what you've seen in the Mists, but it is all clearly weathered and battered.
Okay. So
Melody.
no signs that new people have been moving in.
You take a look around and investigate, and you do not see signs of new people. This seems as if it has sat for some unknowable time.
Melody, do you reckon these buildings could be repurposed? You're usually pretty good at keeping track of these kind of things. Maybe we could establish a fishing village here or something similar? I mean, everything is already here.
As long as we are reasonably confident that this is safe. Things look a little eerie around here.
Well, let's take some time and patrol around, just see if there's anything that might be dangerous and get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can't travel anymore today. We might as well rest in this area and see what happens as well.
Like
Yeah. You rest.
Before we rest,
Okay.
Mhm. Is there any building that seems larger than the others?
Likely yes, but not in a meaningful way, right? This isn't perfectly every building is the same size. Like, I'm sure that they have differing sizes and one is likely larger, but not in a like, this is the town hall or like this is the merchant shop type of way.
My thought was that everything here on the surface is weathered, but they gotta have a storehouse somewhere. Maybe if they had a town hall or a religious center, there would be maybe an area where they built down into the ground. Maybe there's a basement or like a trapdoor where they can store stuff that's not up on the surface. Maybe that would be more preserved. So that's what I would look for. And if I couldn't find it, then I would go off with the group patrol.
Yeah. Give me
a lot of
a
houses
quick
have root
investigation
cellars.
check before you leave, Mr. Red Hot.
13.
You take particular note of the shape of the buildings as you look, and on a 13, you don't find anything that you're looking for, like a trapdoor or a cellar or a like merchants or a storage area. But because you're specifically looking at the shapes of these buildings, you come to notice something that you find peculiar. All of the doors and windows face the water. There is no opening to any of these buildings that was intentionally left that face anywhere but the coast.
Maybe they like worship the sea or something, and that was just like a cultural thing. Or
Either
maybe there's
that-
like really bad winds from the other direction or something.
Interesting.
When inspecting these houses, right? To my understanding, Warfield would think like that means there's danger from one of the sides. Can I check, let's say, two sides of the same house? Maybe one side of the house has like scratch marks or something along those lines.
Mhm.
Maybe there's markings where there is no windows if some sort of creatures coming from the fields, and maybe there's
Yeah.
scratches and stuff coming from the sea or something. Like which side do I reckon there's a threat, if there is one?
I don't think I want you to roll. I don't think that you are gonna miss anything that would be obvious enough to dictate a threat. A lot of this is worn and old and ancient, and there are very few tracks or signs. As you look around, you think that if there were a threat here, it would likely have to come from the coast. As you watch to the grasslands, there is nothing in your barbarian mind, your senses, your instinct for survival and fighting that makes you worried about that. It's wide open. You can see everything coming. There are no woods or thickets or caves. The coastline, however, is filled with rocky cliff sides. If there were fighting, you would think it would come from there. And you see no signs to make you think that there's something you wouldn't have noticed that would lead you to think otherwise.
I have one other idea for why everything may face towards the sea. Is they may be semi-aquatic, like tritons or something. Is there any indication of infrastructure underneath the water nearby?
Okay, you walk yourself away from this kind of stone buildings and investigate the coastline, looking for infrastructure. You are going to find a noticeable thing, I think, in the lack of infrastructure. For what would be fishing village, there is no dock or place to enter the water with boats or anything of the like. As you look around for something as well preserved in this area, you would think you would at least see signs of it, even if it had washed away, but you don't see any. Whether this is due to the ravages of time or whether it wasn't there, you're uncertain, but it is notable that there is no dock or a large place to enter the water with equipment.
Okay, now I'm getting into the strange ideas. But Greg, do these buildings look like they're on their original foundations?
Oh, that's a really clever. I'm gonna give you away that one. Yeah, they are. This is where they were built. But that's
Okay.
very clever. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like half a village magically got
Right.
transported.
I
here.
wish I'd thought of that actually. No, that is not what has happened here. I like it.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm out of questions. I don't have any ideas of what's
Okay.
going on beyond this.
Yeah.
do you guys just want to do some patrols?
Yeah, I don't have any other further thoughts either. I think we
Alright.
covered a lot of it.
The party leaves this mystery behind for now, the lapping of the waves behind them. You have arrived here. You have 2 exploration points left. There's some thought of patrols. Tell me, who's going to lead the party, and what exactly do you do with the rest of your day?
I'll spend a point and just to since I think we need to take an exploration action to pacify an area before it can be built.
Okay. So you intend to seek out any threats so that you could secure this village. Excellent. I want you to spend that exploration point. We're going to go down to 1. And I want you to tell me how you search this place. What is it that you do, Dagnab, to identify threats in this area?
Well, you said basically Warfield felt like probably the sea was the most dangerous thing. So I think I'm looking out for any indication of like dangerous sea creatures that might pose threats to fishermen nearby, like maybe sharks, or if there's like shallow reefs or anything, just to maybe see if we could get like a rough sketch of those for, because I assume maybe they'll arrive by boat, they'll be safe on the way in or whatnot. Just sort of surveying the sea nearby.
Okay. It sounds to me like you are using either your like wisdom to survive and track and understand the like area, or just you're just looking with your eyes. I will take perception wisdom or survival wisdom. Your DC for this hex is a big old 12.
All right. Well, then let's try this here. 17.
All right.
Nice.
So you are going to be successful by finding the negative. Dagnab, the more you look, the more you are convinced there is nothing nearby. For at least a mile or 2 or 3 as you walk and you patrol and you and the party follow this coast, maybe you even dip into the grassland some just to make sure the Borbfield wasn't wrong. You come across no creatures. Birds fly across the sky. Occasionally you might see a fish or a seal or something jump out of the water. But in this hex where you're patrolling, you see not a sign of anyone living or anything.
So, is it so dead that this wouldn't even be a good fishing spot because there's not the fish to catch?
Oh, most definitely. You spent a lot of time looking at this water at this point. There might be an occasional fish or something, but if you take the time to look and like check this water, you've got a few people that are nature-y. You've got a barbarian that lives on the land. This is not a fishing hole.
Okay. Well, that's making me worried because that means that there's something ongoing. Because whatever happened here could have been ancient that caused the people to go away. But if there's something going on that there's some reason that animals aren't around, that's worrying. Maybe we should not spend the night here.
Yeah, I wonder what happens here at night. Part of me wants to spend the night here to find out.
Okay, but know that it's probably not good.
What
I mean,
is
we
good
can't
out
really
here?
move anyways.
We could force march.
Frank, a quick double ritual detect magic to scan this place.
Yes. Why don't you look for signs of necromancy and I'll look for illusions?
All right. I love the idea of the double ritual. Are you doing this together? Like, how do we, like, are you just gonna do them separately, or are we doing like a double ritual? Do you like combine your magics like Voltron?
Absolutely,
It's a fire dance, Greg, for sure. I cast prestidigitation. I cast prestidigitation on Melody so that you're a cat, correct? So that her ears like stick up, and I try to turn them red, like my hair is red, and then we do like a fire dance around a campfire.
Excellent. Melody brings out their bongos, and you tap out a rhythm while Frank does the traditional red-hot McAwesome Sauce dance. And as he finishes, your eyes open to that of magic and necromancy. As you look around, you'll see that there is indeed magic in this area. There is not a single source. There's not a pinpoint. You can't walk and be like, there it is. But in this whole area where all the buildings are and around the coast, a subtle enchantment magic, a faint glimmer of an aura just settles around you, around the buildings, around the coast, around you and the ground. You just are in an area that carries enchantment magic.
You sure you want us to leave here?
If there's an
I don't
enchantment
think
on this
so.
place, probably not.
You know what we could do? Because detect magic, if you can do it as a ritual, we should be able to figure out where this ends. What could be interesting if we go just outside where it ends, and Borbfield, maybe you can trap a creature, and we can, this may be a little cruel, but keep it held in the area with the enchantment overnight, and just see if anything happens to it.
How long does your magic last? 10 minutes?
It's a 10-minute concentration spell.
But they can keep doing it because it's ritual, so...
This is true. All right.
It probably costs us an exploration
I think
point
it's going to
to
cost you
try to
your
find
last
the edge.
exploration point. Yeah, you're going to spend a long time here. You're going to notice that this field, this aura, if you will, goes on for a few miles. It doesn't penetrate deep into the grasslands, but especially along the coast. There's about a 4 to 5 mile length of coast here in which this enchantment exists. And it pushes, deeper into the hex than you would expect. Maybe not all the way. You can more easily escape it by going into the grasses than along the coast. It's wider than it is deep, I suppose, is the best way to say that. But it takes you a long time. You have to stop and do your fiery dance with the bongos a lot. You are growing weary of the dance, and you didn't think that was possible. But eventually, after walking for a good long time, as the stars kind of begin to appear, the sun slipping deeper behind the mountains to your west, you will find where the enchantment ends. And as soon as you do, you immediately see more wildlife. There are fish along the coast. There are birds in the sky trying to find their way to roost. You didn't realize just quite how quiet it was until you got to the edge of it on the other side.
Yeah, let's definitely set up camp on the other side of it.
We did spend like a solid half a day inside the aura. Do we feel any side effects or anything?
Not so much, no. You don't feel any side effects or oddities, but you do... I suppose the side effect is you're like, wow, it was really quiet in there. Like, it was really still and quiet, and I didn't realize it until I got out here, and that's, like, noticeable.
If anything, I want to camp inside, to be honest. But
You camp inside, I'll camp outside. There we go.
So peaceful and quiet in here. A good night's sleep
Yeah.
you never wake up from. It's great.
I mean, if
I
you
mean,
guys
your
want to,
family is
I'm
known
happy
for
to be
that,
like
no?
yeah, I don't know.
So, party, you've reached the edge of this. It's been a long day. You are going to have to camp soon. But there was some talk of maybe trapping an animal or doing something. I'll let you try to use just the last bleeding moments of sunlight, if you will. Otherwise, we're going to go right to our camping phase. Do you intend to try to do something with your last hour or so of usable light?
Yeah, I'll try to
just
do
tie-
it. Oh.
Sorry, I'll just tie my donkey like 100 feet inside the aura while we camp outside.
Oh yeah, that works. That's easier.
Okay. Well, you party will set up a nice evening here as you stake the donkey inside of this this enchantment aura. How secure is the donkey? Like, I want to know what you do. Do you just like feed it and let it sleep over there, or do you like tie it to the place so it can't leave the area, or like how is this set up? Is what I would like to know.
So, the way I imagine it, we used to raise cows back home. So even for a cow that used to work, you would have a metal chain, right? And at the end, you would have like a metal, what do you call it? Spike, and you would just spike it on the ground. So it gives like some space for the animal to walk around, but it still can't really walk away.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
only gets the length of the chain.
For no particular reason, I would like for you to make me a strength athletics check to see how good you secure this stake.
Yeah, absolutely.
For no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, no reason whatsoever.
Completely inconsequential.
A 19. That is quite reasonable. All right. I'm gonna look up a mule statistics, but you go to sleep for the night. The party, I assume, is taking turns keeping eyes on this creature. The rest of you sleep on the outside of this enchantment, and you just have peaceful, restful dreams until you are woken up. For those keeping watch, at some point during the night, the mule will begin to stir. A 2 on my dice camera order is our good friend, Dagnab. You are the one watching this beast, as it just kind of wakes up. And it appears to be, like, listening to something. It does that thing that dogs do, when it, like, can hear something, and it cocks its head, and it begins to kind of walk around. You hear nothing, but you notice that doing this, as it walks, it will get to the... Whoa! Sorry, I have, like, attacked my microphone. I didn't mean to do that. It will get to the end of its lead, and then it will get, like, stopped by the tautness of the rope. And it, like, cocks its head. And then it begins to push on the lead and attempt to break free, which it will do at advantage. D20 plus 2 is mule strength. Its first attempt will not make it happen. Oh, plus 2 is
you're
20.
missing a 2, yeah.
It doesn't even need to roll with advantage. Dagnab, you see this mule strain and strain against its lead until the stake pulls from the ground. And it just, like, pops out, and this mule begins to walk directly towards the coast.
And we're, like, a good ways away from the coast, right?
I am imagining that you walked to the edge of this field to the, like, horizontally, right, east or west, and maybe you are some distance, like, into the grass, but I'm imagining you relatively close to the coast, but you can
Not
tell
like-
me,
like-
party.
Not, like, close enough that if somebody was singing, perhaps, you could hear them normally.
You don't hear anything. Yeah, like, if they're close enough that the mule could hear it, you would assume you could hear it, right?
Okay, sure. I think what I'll do is I'll wake up Borfield, quickly explain that something seems to be luring the donkey to the sea.
A donkey, and I just run in.
Dagnab's like in mid-explanation, and Borfield rushes. The moment that you cross the, like, edge of this enchantment field, Borfield, I want you to make me a wisdom saving throw. Your DC is going to be 14.
17, so.
Borfield, you hear immediately a song. A song that is so calling and attractive. It wants you to follow it. It's so beautiful. But Your mind is your own, and the pool of magic on your body and your mind is resisted. Your mule, however, is walking straight towards the ocean away from you. It has not stopped in the time that Dagnab has woken you up, and you can see it just marching.
At this point, I'm
As I
waking
kind
up
of-
the others.
Okay.
As I kind of feel this magical effect, like take hold of me for a second before I kind of, shake myself off it. Do I feel like if I stay within the singing range, I can be charmed again? Or do I feel like I
That's a
kind
good
of
question.
don't
Let
don't
me
feel
let
like
me
it's
actually
affecting
look
me?
up the ability here. I would like, actually, honestly, I want you to make me some kind of knowledge of magic check, either religion or arcana, something that you would use spiritually to understand that. I'm gonna give you DC like 10 since you've already like succeeded on this, but whether you know or not, I think it could be a matter of your own like interpretation.
Yeah. Could I roll insight, like to understand?
I like
how
insight. I'll
Barfield
allow
feels?
that. Yeah.
16?
On a 16, you are fairly sure that once you have succeeded on this, you are going to be safe for a little bit of time. You don't know, obviously, the exact, but you are not in danger of rolling again in the near future.
Okay. Could I just quickly run towards the donkey if he's not running but just walking?
Yeah.
Grab the leash and just pull him to outside the area.
Yeah, he's gonna like immediately resist you, right? Like you pull on this thing, it first of all doesn't ever stop walking, right? It's just going forward. You rush forward, you grab this, and you're like, get over here, and it's just gonna try to like pull with you. You are technically stronger than a donkey, right? You have more than 14 strength. So I don't think I'm going to make you roll. You are a barbarian. At the very least, you're going to rage and, like, pick this sucker up, right? But, like, it is noticeable to you that this donkey is not only, like, pulling against you, but it feels like it is stronger or perhaps more motivated than normal. Like, it is hard for you, even with your advanced strength, to get it under control. But eventually you can pull it back to where your party is resting, where we see Dagnab has woken up both Melody and Frank.
I kind of, come back with a donkey on my shoulders.
Just have it over
I
your
kinda-
shoulders.
Yeah, put
Well-
him down on the floor.
I think if we
I'm
take
like-
out whatever is enchanting that donkey, then we should be able to turn this into a great fishing spot.
It's, I think, a lady singing or a man singing. Sounds the same. I don't know, but somebody singing.
Well, let's go make him stop.
I'm
Before
down.
anybody else gets into the enchanted zone, I can inspire them to make sure you're more resistant.
Absolutely.
I would like to cut off a massive chunk of hair off my donkey's tail and just stuff them in my ears. I don't hear a single thing.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Absolutely stuff your ears full of donkey hair. I love it. Yeah, yeah. Would anyone else like some mule hair in their ears?
I'm just gonna like fold my ears inward, like roll them up like a wrapper.
Yes, I'll take some mule hair for sure.
All right.
Why not? Everybody
Bold.
else is doing it.
With
I have a bold
ears
mule.
full of ass hair, you march your way into the enchanted zone. Borfield, you're fine. Dagnab, Melody, Frank, I need wisdom saving throws from the three of you. Since you have mashed your ears full of stuff, I will give you advantage to resist.
Greg, after these rolls, are we able to take a little short break?
Yeah, I guess we are almost right at 2 hours. Absolutely. Why don't you roll to resist? And as you do, we will go on a short break and grab some water, bathroom, or whatever we need, and we'll see you all on the other side. Catch you soon. Hello, Internet, and welcome back. Before our quick break, our party had entered into the enchanted field of magic, where their mule had been walking towards the ocean. As they do, they all make their wisdom saves. Frank needing a little extra motivation from his bardic inspiration that Melody gave out. But each of you hear the musical song, a singing so beautiful that it hardly registers in your minds. You begin to follow it as the donkey walks along right to it, once again, leading you where you must go. You spent some time, several miles to get away from the source, and so you spend several miles to return. But sure enough, you pass by some buildings, and eventually will find your way to the edge of the waters, where before you a scene of strangeness plays out. And I'm going to borrow an old map, so if you would, ignore the stuff above you and just the coastline, because it's fun to look at things, right? Party, you find yourselves staring out across the waters at not a siren, but instead a spectral organ. You see in the waters a oddity of magic, an enchanting organ that your donkey is drawn to, that it wants to make its way towards at like full speed. You have to once again like kind of restrain it with your strength, Borbfield. And as you stare across, the organ plays with no one at its keys, a beautiful and terrible melody, and from its pipes the enchanting song hits your ears. It sounds not like an organ coming from the pipes, but instead the beautiful voice of a songstress. Party, as you stare upon the scene, what do you do?
Do you take requests?
You attempt to speak, your words ripped from your throat as if by a torrent wind, hardly even echo out, lost in the song being played.
And we look at the organs, even though they're a ways in the water, is that correct?
Yes, they are some like 20, 30 feet into the waters, like you would have to wade out to it if you wanted to get there.
So 2 questions in that case.
Yeah.
I think a wizard would be more inclined to understand what it is, but as we look at the keys of the organ, are they being pressed as if somebody is invisible pressing them? Or like automatically being pressed?
The keys are being played, yes. You can observe, even from this distance, the depression of the keys. Whether there is an invisible hand guiding them or not, you can't really tell. But the keys are being depressed as it plays its song.
I look at the magically inclined people.
Do we want to disrupt this?
I feel like we have to, otherwise we can't ever use this village.
One thing I could try to disrupt this is cast Dissonant Whispers, which will add a very strange melody to that one and could try to break it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's very interesting. Try to magically disrupt it. I like that.
But there's no coming back, though. Once we do that, if it's unhappy, then we fight.
I
Well,
look towards the gnome next to the water. I kind of step next to him, ready for whatever comes from there.
Mm-hmm.
If this doesn't work, Borfield, I need you to pick me up and put me on your shoulders so I can get close to that thing. And then maybe I can disrupt it as well.
As you say, like, if this doesn't work, pick me up. I'm lifting like you off the floor and putting you on my hat.
A
my
great show of confidence in your teammate. Boardfield, you lift up Frank's Red Hot Sauce in a Master Blaster style. And Melody, you cast your spell?
Correct.
go ahead and mark for me your spell slot. And I would like for you to make me an Arcana Intelligence. Or you use Charisma as a bard. I would like for you to make me an Arcana Charisma check against this like spectral piano, its force of magic itself, to see if you can disrupt this spell with yours.
I think with charisma +3, not proficient in Arcana, I think my perception +3 should do the same.
Okay, perfect. We can accept that. All right. With a 15, your spell interacts with the magics of this organ. For a moment, the organ and the magic just shudders. The intermingling of your magic breaks the spell on the mule. You see its eyes clear. It looks around. It kind of freaks out that it's next to the water and it wasn't like before. But as soon as this breaks the piano, the organ changes. The song no longer beautiful, but instead rapid and terrifying and angry. Everyone roll initiative against the organ.
We done goofed, boys. We done goofed.
That
Nah,
is
this
a
is fun.
14. Let me add that to our initiative here. The spectral organ. Excellent. The spectral organ goes on 14, which means the first to react as its music changes in a threatening way is, I guess, our entire party. Dagnab, you will go first as this threatening music changes, the stillness of the area flipping on its head. What do you do?
1 second here. I'm looking up a spell I've got. Because let's see. So to do, I turn into a. Interesting. So I wonder how this would work. But I'm willing to try this because I don't think I'm going to be effective otherwise.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull a potion out of my backpack, pop the cork, and chug it. It is a potion of gaseous form.
All right, you chug a potion of gaseous form. You cease to be a solid metaphysical rabbit and instead a gaseous, intangible rabbit.
And I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and do my kung fu in the air. I can move 10 feet, so I can get there. Now, technically, I can't attack targets, but this thing is also a ghost, so who the heck knows?
Okay. Let us take a look at gaseous form, and let's make sure that you can actually attack. So, when you drink a potion of gaseous form, you transform a willing creature you touch, along with everything it's wearing and carrying, which will be you, into a misty cloud. The spell ends if the creature drops 0 hit points. An incorporeal creature isn't affected. You are corporeal, so you're good. While in this form, the target's only method of movement is flying speed of 10 feet. The target can enter and occupy the space of another creature. The target has resistance to non-magical damage. It has advantage on strength, dexterity, and constitution saving throws. Target can pass through small holes, narrow openings, and even mere cracks, though it treats liquids as though it were solid surfaces. The target can't fall and remains hovering in the air when stunned or otherwise incapacitated. While in the form of a misty cloud, the target can't talk or manipulate objects, and any objects it was carrying or holding can't be dropped, used, or otherwise interacted with. The target can't attack or cast spells.
Yep.
So you can fly around, and you can get up there with your 10 feet of flying movement. You can kung fu with this thing, but your gaseous form and this spectral organ do not interact in the way that you were hoping for. You do not damage it with your kung fu.
Okay. Well, at the very least, different idea. But I think I'll have to wait till I can get to the other side of it.
Okay. Excellent. Boardfield, you see your bunny friend turn essentially into a ghost and start kung fuing the organ. What do you do?
Tell me a little bit about the shoreline. Is this a cliffside or is this like a easy
The
access to
original
water?
map was a cliff. We're gonna treat this like just a coast. This was the neatest water map I had to throw the organ in.
Perfect. I reckon as a bonus action I will rage, and while I probably shouldn't be doing this, but even with the wizard on my shoulders or on top of the hat clinging on, I reckon I'm gonna start going or treading water to get as close as I can to the.
All right, you
Piano?
fly into a rage. You're carrying Frank's Red Hot on like your back, right? And as you rush forward, you will see the water begin to overtake you. It comes up to your like waist, and if you go much deeper than where you are, it is going to take you under. But for now, you can stand in it and withstand the crashing waves.
Perfect. And I am not entirely sure if I can actually hit this thing and do any damage, but I haven't seen or met personally anything that an axe could not fell.
Absolutely.
So I reckon instead of going for the metal bits in the organ, I'll choose a wooden pot. A ghostly wooden part, I guess.
The ghost
And I'll
wood,
try-
yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I will try and swing my axe. Instead of great weapon mastering, I'll attack regularly. Just to make sure I can actually hit it first.
All right.
25, sorry.
25 hits. Your axe rushes forward and makes contact with something slightly insubstantial. It has a physical form that your axe hits, but it is weird. It's not like hitting wood or stone or metal. It doesn't reverberate through the axe. It's like slicing through something soft and squishy, like a marshmallow maybe. Go ahead and roll for me some damage. You have rage damage and slashing damage, neither of which is magical, correct?
Correct, yes.
All right, so it will take half damage. Your slash just less effective than you were hoping for it to be. As you slash into this, it will use its reaction to play a discordant note. It screeches a melody against its own melody. The discordant note ringing in your ears, Borbfield. I would like for you to make me a wisdom saving throw. DC 14.
Is this an audible? It is an audible.
It is
thing, and I
audible.
have a
You
lot
have
of
your
hair
ears
in my-
stuffed. I'll give you advantage to save. That makes sense.
Perfect.
That is a success. On a success, nothing happens except the psychic damage, which you will have. For succeeding, please take for me 4 total points of psychic damage.
I think psychic I take full, right? Or-
You pass the save. You take half on the pass save.
I'm just trying to figure out as a totem barbarian, do I take half from psychic or full?
Totem barbarian should be full damage from psychic. If
Okay,
I
so I'll
remember
take 4.
correctly.
Thank you.
All right. Melody, you see this play out. You hear the partially discordant note played. What do you do?
I will move a little bit and then cast vicious mockery on this thing, calling it a very cheap auto-tune machine.
All right. This thing has no wisdom, but I really like your clever wit. Rather than making a wisdom saving throw, which this thing cannot make, I would like for you to make me a spell attack against its AC.
Okay, let me. I don't have any.
D20 plus 5, no?
Yeah, I think so.
D20 plus charisma plus proficiency.
There you go.
A
Ooh,
19 is
nice.
going to hit, despite this thing not being a sentient, wisdom-filled thing. The power of you as a bard and the ability to make me laugh with your insult renders damage onto it. Go ahead and I guess you rolled in the above 3 psychic damage, which it will just take. And you see the apparition shudder as it does. All right. Frank, I believe that makes it your turn. You're riding Borbfield Master Blaster style.
Sure are. There's
what
a
do you do?
long history of Master Blaster fighting style with the Metcosmos clan. This has happened many times before. I am going to start enchanting a spell, and you will see Frank's head turn red and then turn a little staticky, and you will see a small aura start moving around both Borbfield and the gaseous form of Dagnab as Frank unleashes a thunder wave.
Very
And
fun.
slams a thunderous boom going forward to the spectral organ. However, the aura that moves around my dear friends, Borbfield and Dagnab, is because I'm an evocation wizard and I can sculpt my spells. So I can send this thunder wave through, and it's spell level +1. So I can protect 2 of my teammates in the area.
Excellent.
I will throw a thunder wave trying to disrupt this thing.
I love it. I first of all want to point out that you don't sculpt your spell. You like made an aura around your buddies. I like the idea that Frank Redhot tosses his friends in sauce so they don't get hit. Your spell is very effective against this, both in its thunderous cacophony and in its force. I want you to roll me damage. It will take this hit.
All right. It takes 6 thunder damage.
6. All right. There it is. It came through late on my end, but I sees it. 6 thunder damage. Frank, you have caused something to break in this thing. It begins to play discordantly all the time now. The organ has suffered enough damage that I want you to make me a wisdom saving throw, as at the end of every turn, a discordant note is played.
All right. I am a gnome, even though my ears are stuffed, so I believe I make this an advantage.
You have advantage indeed. That is
It's a 15 straight up.
Yes, very good. Nothing else happens except you take half of the accompanying psychic damage. Please take for me 3 points of psychic damage.
Got it.
With that, the spectral organ will play. It is making discordant notes, but it can still use its attacks. It begins to play a wave of notes, and as it does, the song changes. The waters around you rise up, and they're going to rush forward directly in front of the piano here, or I guess the organ. Dagnab, you are in a misty, gaseous form. Despite being in the square in front of this, I am going to rule that the wave passes by you. But Frank's Red Hot and Borbfield, I need for you to make for me nothing, because this is an attack roll. D20 plus... a 12 will hit neither of you. You stand strong, withholding the damage from this water as it bashes against the coastline.
Right. 12 was my AC.
Never mind. You are.
I'm going to shield, and then it won't hit me.
Ah,
You're
perfect. Okay.
Do you need to do that? Does it have disadvantage from Vicious Mockery, even with this special form of Vicious Mockery?
Ooh, Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll give it to you. I was mucking about with the vicious mockery rules anyway. Its disadvantage would
shield.
still be a 12.
Almost a crit hit. All right.
Almost. At the end of its turn, a discordant note plays, and it will take 11 more damage. Excellent. Dagnab, it comes to you in your gaseous form. What do you do?
Does it take 11 damage itself?
Yes.
So I've got a fun idea. So I'm going to, I can only go 10 feet, but I'm going to spend a key point to bonus action dash, which will allow me to get right up behind the keys. And I'm going to put on my white gloves and play a very copyrighted song that all of you, I'm sure, are familiar with.
Excellent. Please, play that tune. I would like for you to make me a contested performance check. Your DC is going to be, what is its performance? Oh yeah, it has expertise in performance, that's right. It is your DC is a 26. If you could beat a 26 for me.
We're gonna see. I'm gonna have to roll 19 or higher on this.
All right.
I am using my bardic inspiration.
Excellent.
No.
All right, you attempt to overwrite the song, the magic of this organ, and you are going to be unsuccessful. It seems that the force of this spectral organ, its performative abilities, almost seem to overwrite your ability to play your song, incorporating the notes you press into its own rhythm and syncopation and melody. At the end of its turn, it is going to play a discordant note. Dagnab, you are in gaseous form, but I believe psychically you can still take this damage. I would like for you to make me a wisdom saving throw against the discordant note.
Okie dokie. Do I get advantage for having my ears rolled up?
Absolutely, yeah.
Alright. There we go. No bardic. Oh, that's not good.
That is a failure. So this is unfortunate because you're in a gaseous form, so the next effect doesn't really do much to you. But I would like you, to take from me 17 points of psychic damage. That rolled well.
Holy moly.
God.
As you take the psychic damage, you are compelled to go under the waves.
Do I just like smush myself against the water?
You're a gaseous form. You cannot go underwater. So Dagnab, you just like are like a squished cartoon against the waves for like a round.
Does the discordant note look like an anvil?
Yeah, in this case, I think it does. Yes. Excellent. Boardfield, you see this happening. What do you do?
I know it's probably impossible to tell because it's like an incorporeal thing as well. But it took a vicious mockery damage. It took like 12 thunder damage. I smashed it with an axe. Does it look like it's affecting it physically in any
Oh
shape,
yeah,
way, or
like
form?
pipes are breaking. It's playing wrong notes. It's like wearing down. Yeah, it's taking some beating.
In that case, I will recklessly attack to gain advantage, and I will essentially try to finish the job.
All right. That is a 19. That'll hit. So that's 20. That's 10 damage. Your axe does a good deal of damage, but it does not finish the job. The more pipes break, discordant notes keep playing louder and faster, but it is not down.
One moment. I wanted to check one more thing, if that's okay.
Okay.
One second. No, that's an action. My bad. That's it.
All right, that is it. At the end of your turn, Boardfield, a discordant note plays. This one is Okay, I want you to roll this normally. You would have advantage for stuffing your ears, but because you have broken three layers of pipes, it has advantage because of how broken it is. So just a regular wisdom saving throw, please, against the discordant note.
Before I roll this, do we still have Bardic or no?
I have not been keeping track of your bardic inspiration. If Melody gave it to you, I assume you
I don't
have
need
it if
it.
you haven't
It's
used
fine.
it.
Nope.
That is a 19. That is
I'm-
success. You are not compelled to go under the waves, but you will take half of 12, so 6 psychic damage.
I am a barbarian who cannot be charmed or affected mentally.
Oh, that's true. You're raging. Son of a bitch. All right, Melody. It comes to you as you see this happening. What do you do?
Let me back away from the waves before I get compelled to jump in there. And then I'd love to try my hand at another round of dissonant whispers. And should it somehow...
All right, your
Don't
dissonant whispers is going to be more effective than your mockery, as it's essentially discordant with the song itself. I would like for you to roll me damage as it interplays with the broken and discordant notes.
9 here.
Oh, I see. Yes, 9. Melody. Your magic ripples through this organ. It seems to, like, cease playing for a moment as cracks appear within it, and then in a moment, it explodes. It doesn't do damage to the people around it, but you feel like a sonic, almost like force of air press against you and your gaseous form. I guess Dagnab's like blown out to sea a little bit by this in his gaseous form, but he can come back. And the organ is no more. And as you look around, the silent, lapping waves is the only sound left, and the magic in this coast seems to have disappeared.
Can I
Play a little bit of
pretend-
bongo to
actually,
cheer up everybody.
I pretend that the explosion has made me lose balance, and I toss the gnome into the water.
Excellent.
I'd spend the rest of the hour in gaseous form at making my way back from being blown out to sea. Again, I can only go 10 feet around.
That's true, yeah. Fair enough. You make it back, and the
Hey, Greg.
party gathers. Yeah.
As I go under the water, right at the edge, where this thing has been dragging stuff in for years, maybe centuries,
Mhm.
do I make contact with anything other than just the ocean?
Absolutely, you do. You make a contact with hundreds, if not thousands, of bones piled up beneath the water. You likely do not have the time to inspect them, but it is very clear as you crunch into a bunch of old bones piled up here, things drowned.
That could be a great source of loot in the morning.
That's what I was thinking.
You don't want to check it now before the waves pull it aside?
Ooh.
Go for it.
I have a spell for this.
Do you?
I'm going to spend 10 minutes and ritually cast Unseen Servant.
Ah.
And I'm going to send my Unseen Servant in the water and tell it to find anything that is golden or metallic and start bringing it out. And then for the next hour, I believe it'll start dragging the stuff out of the water.
All right.
leaves wet.
Mr. Red Hot, I'm gonna need from you a roll here to see how much your servant can pull out. Searching around under the waves, pulling bones aside, dragging up odds and ends. I would like for you to roll me 1d700 plus 300.
1d 700 plus 300.
Yes.
That's a pretty good roll.
All
I'm
right.
happy with that. It's above average.
You see your servant dig up 703 gold worth of valuables. These are not so much coins as they are like gems and artifacts, like jewelry, rings. None of them particularly magical or valuable beyond just their like precious stone value. Most of the jewelry is largely like rusted, and you imagine a lot of the other metals are like rusted and maybe just gone to centuries. But enough of it has survived, especially the precious stones that you get this value. I would also like for you to roll me 1d8.
An 8.
Wow.
An 8. Excellent. On an 8, the other thing that is pulled out is a scroll case. It is worn and beaten, but watertight and sealed. Upon opening it, you find a scroll nestled inside. You can read it, of course, being a wizard yourself, and you find it to be a scroll of Bestow Curse.
That's pretty cool.
That is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Don't give that to the bad joke.
Somebody's bestowed a curse on him all the time.
I have one final question, Greg.
Sure.
In this loot of 703 gold,
Mhm.
are there any diamonds? Particularly any diamonds worth 50 gold pieces or more?
Sure. Absolutely. You're specifically pulling precious stones out. There are not very many. There's exactly 4.
That's fine. I'll only need one. If I survive the session, then I might request a 50 GP diamond out of the loot as a spell component, as opposed to taking the money.
When we hand out money, in this instance, not like forever, but because we know we have diamonds, you can just spend 50 gold up to 4 times to take the diamonds. That's fine.
Okay.
Like you just subtract from your total the 200 gold and then add diamonds of that value to your sheet. All right, party. You spend some time watching the servant pull things from the water, and sleepiness takes you. It has been a long day of dancing and investigating and then fighting a piano. You must sleep, and darkness takes you.
Quick healing word before going to bed.
You
Thank you. I was just
sneak
like,
it in.
I was powering up with my key.
All right.
You know, I reckon like we start the camp and Melody starts playing a song or something, and all of us in Union just shut him up straight away. We had enough songs today.
And I
You
go
sleep, and dawn comes. You sleep of the dead. No dreams, no nothing, no songs. You can get your healing word off, Melody, since you have called it out. No problem. And you will gain the benefits of a night's rest. You will be able to regain any spells and class features associated with a long rest. You may spend any number of hit dice that remain in your pool after the healing word to recover hit points as well. Please mark off 1 ration from your group's rations. And I would love for you to tell me what you do as you pack up in the morning, having had quite the adventure the night before, as dawn comes and the group has 6 brand spanking new exploration points to use.
Can you put us back on the world map?
I sure can.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Boy, Wizard Boy, you've been to our destination, right? You want to take us over?
I sure can. Although we're running a little low on rations, we seem pretty far away. Do you think we might want to stock back up before we go?
We could do that tomorrow.
Okay. We'll do that tomorrow. I will lead us southeast to the
All right.
coastal cave, trying to remember whatever I could about the location, seeing as how I was a mountain goat at the time.
You make your way down this coastline, away from the Oregon you met before. Remembering your Billy Goat memory, I would love for
I'm so
you to roll me a D100 as you march your way forward.
I am so sorry. Can I quickly ask you a question before we leave the
Sure,
house?
yeah, what's up?
After we killed the organ player, etc.,
Mhm.
does it feel like the magical aura lifts? Maybe one of the
Yes.
wizards or the bard can
Yeah,
cast detect magic?
definitely. I don't even
So it
know if
should
you
be
need to
coming.
detect magic so much as just the place feels like more alive. Like there's just, wow, there's birds and fish.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, no, definitely that has lifted the enchantment on that area.
Does
And
it
do
feel
we
like
feel
the village can be secured going in the future?
Yeah, if you want it, it is definitely possible.
Cool.
Absolutely. Great. That is going to be an 81 as the rest of the party ventures forward. On an 81. Oh, that is the Rust Monster Queen once again. The Rust Monsters do not go this far towards the water. So this creature will not be here. Instead,
Awesome.
you will make it to your cove. Tell me, Scarlet Shadow, you have seen this cove, this cave, coastal cave before. What is it that draws you to it? What does it look like as you approach, and why is it so interesting?
It's on like a small downset, like away from the bluff. And it's right up against the coast. And it's just like, as the bluff goes down, it goes down maybe, I don't know, X amount of feet, depending on what's there, because you know what's there and I don't. But there are two statues that are dog-like creatures, but that walk. And they have shields. They have spears. They look like guardians standing out.
Yeah.
And the cave is dark beyond.
As you approach
That's all I've
this
seen.
cave, you get a closer look, and you realize as you approach these guardian statues that what you thought was a dog while you were a billy goat reminds you more of a fish. These fish-like walking two-legged statues guard the entrance to a dark and dank cave down on the bluff. It almost has the water lapping up to the very entrance, except for the few feet where these statues are built.
Well, shall we go in?
Absolutely.
We should. Watch out for satyrs, though.
All right. You make your way down this bluff to the entrance, walking between the tall statues that guard the entrance. And as you do, you will find yourself in a dark cave, hard to see in, the light barely penetrating. And as you walk in, you immediately smell like old rotting seaweed and like the smell of like fish that has been left out for far too long. How do you see in the darkness as you enter this cave?
I have dark vision,
Me too.
Okay.
but if other people do not, I will happily light a torch if they need it.
I don't have dark vision.
Me neither.
With
Wait, do I?
prestidigitation, I will snap my
do.
fingers right over top of a torch and hand it to you.
All right. Frank snaps his fingers, does his thing, and light illuminates a dank cave, upon which the like ground is stone. It seems natural, but a harsh smell and slick, despite the lack of like seawater, rock like slides around your boots as you step, making your footing a little bit insecure. As the light flickers, you see that the cave kind of branches around some rocks, some to your left, some to your right. With the flickering of your light, as soon as it lights up, you begin to hear a sound, almost like chittering or chattering from the northwest of you, this direction. What do you do?
Do we hear echoes in the cave after we make a noise?
I would imagine a little bit. It is a like open kind of large air rock structure. Like if you like stomped with your boot, I'm sure it would echo a little bit. You hear this chittering, even though you don't see its source immediately. So clearly, it's coming from somewhere.
Anybody wants to take the front? Otherwise, I'll step forward.
I'm right behind you, Blaster Master, buddy.
Yep, right behind you.
I'll notch an arrow and be ready to let it loose.
All right. You march your way forward through the rocky alcove.
I'm mobilized by fear, as once again I have no access to my token on this map.
Oh, come on! Okay, hold on. If I delete this token, can you drag your token in?
I sure can try.
Can you move that token?
Yes, I can, sir.
Okay. Stupid thing. All right. You have full access. You begin to walk around. The cave is largely the same. It is a slick rock beneath your feet. The walls almost slimy, though nothing grows on them. There's no like lichen or moss here that the torch reveals. The stench grows stronger and more distinct the farther you go. As you make your way a little bit farther north through this mouth, Boardfield and company will see a like kind of opening in the branch here, and your torchlight will reveal shadows, and the sounds of chittering creatures is more prominent. You know it comes from this direction, and the fact that there's like 2 creatures on the map you can see.
I mean, we never encountered anything that isn't hostile in the mists. Alright.
It's true.
I reckon we get ready for battle. If you guys want to precast any defensive things.
I cast fists.
You cast fists.
I start yodeling to intimidate the enemies as I approach with perfect acoustics in the cave.
All right, you begin to yodel as you approach. This is enough to get the attention of these creatures. They will take a step forward, see the flickering light, and I would like for everyone to roll me initiative.
And then I think that what I will do is sorry, what?
The stream is frozen.
The stream is
Oh.
frozen.
Uh-oh. It's
Okay.
crashed.
Just gotta refresh it. Refresh and you're good.
Oh wait, we're good.
It's
All right.
back.
Okay, cool. So
Okay.
after some minor fuzz on the screen, we are going to throw a pie at someone. We'll throw a pie at the fish on the right. And let's just throw out. Oop. 15 to hit.
Yes, you throw a 15 to hit. That will strike the creature in front of you for 6 damage. The cream pie striking it right in the face. Excellent.
All
it will
right.
take 6 points of damage.
Wonderful. And then I'll just basically like taunt it to come towards me as I wield my my squeaky hammer.
All right, you taunt it wielding your squeaky hammer. which the creatures will do happily. This creature is going, the first one that you have like attacked is going to look to you and is going to immediately cast a spell. A slimy, viscous magic slips from its fingertips and coats both you and the party it's behind you. I would like each of you to make me a saving throw against Bane, as it is being cast upon each of you. DC 12 Charisma.
Uh-oh.
I am not very good at these.
Oh, hey.
I'm gonna make this save at advantage.
All right.
If this is a magical effect.
I mean,
I
it's a
assume that it
magic
is,
spell. He's casting a
Yeah.
spell at you. Yeah. All right. The only one to fail is Borbfield. Borbfield, you are baned. You will take a 1d4 subtraction to an attack roll or saving throw that you make until the spell ends. I'm
Okay.
gonna put a little just like sad face on you. All right.
Aw.
Excellent. With that, the second creature is going to run up here, and it is going to use its slippery feet to slide behind Dagnab through that narrow space, its body almost amorphously tucking through a narrow crevice to get behind him. And then it will make 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with a pincer-like staff that it wields. The first will be a 15 against you, Dagnab. I assume that does not hit.
No.
But the staff will attempt to grasp you. With a -5, or a -1, a 5, the pincer staff just, like, bounces harmlessly against the rocks. It's kind of unwieldy pincer at the end, unable to grasp at you. Melody, it comes to you as you see these creatures beginning to surround your rabbit friend. What do you do?
Emboldened by last night, let's do Dissonant Whispers on this first one here at the bottom.
All right. You will cast Dissonant Whispers, which it will... Which it will save at normally, because its buddies aren't here. Which it will succeed at saving your Dissonant Whispers, sliding off of its mind like as much water.
And I think it takes half, right? And doesn't have to run away.
Correct. It does. It will take half damage. You are right.
I will then...
That will be 5 points of damage. Excellent.
Oh my god, they have a lot of HP.
With that, Frank, it is your turn. He of the Red Hot. How will you respond?
I'll move up to get a clear line of sight, and I will throw a firebolt at this Kotor behind Dagnab.
All
So I
right.
cannot see the other one from where I'm at, but an 8 probably is not going to.
An 8 is not going to do it. Your firebolt hits its slimy like skin and just slides off the back of it, seemingly doing no damage.
And then I will tuck myself up against this wall here, and that's my turn.
All right. Boardfield, it will come to you. What do you do?
If I step 15 feet here,
Mhm.
I know there's 3 creatures in front of me, but if I throw a javelin, am I able to aim it at the person behind Dagnab?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. You gotta, like, arch it over them, but let's go nuts.
Yeah, I'll rage as a bonus action. I'll try to throw a javelin because I want to break the concentration on Bane.
All right, please do. That is a
24.
19. That's pretty good.
Alright, no -5.
Oh,
24.
no great weapon for a javelin, correct. 19 will hit, I believe. Can I negate said hit? I cannot. He'll take the damage. Go ahead and roll me damage.
That's gonna be 10 damage.
That is going to be 10 damage. Excellent. It takes 10 damage and will make a Constitution saving throw to maintain its concentration. Fortunately, it's reasonably good at this. And it will maintain its concentration on Bane.
Okay.
All right. Dagnab, it comes to you. You've seen this thing slide behind you and try to pincer you. What do you do?
Well, I am nothing if not Wesley, so I'm going to slip around it and try to like punch it in the gut from the side. So I am going to actually, what I'll do is I'll do a squeaky hammer hit first.
All right.
17 to hit.
17 will hit. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
All right, wonderful. So that's 9, and then I'm going to do flurry of blows to do 3 unarmed attacks.
All right. You punch away. The 13 is going to miss, but the other 2 are going to do their job. That is 12 more points of damage. Excellent. All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, you know what that is.
All right, with that, the creatures will go. And this other creature is going to wander its way down here and get to the other side, while this one slides around you. In the classic pincer formation, they will use their pincer staves to do pincer attacks, but this time with advantage. This one critically hitting you from the top. Please ignore the bottom text. It will not grapple you, but please take 5 points of damage. And then it will make a bite attack at normal. A 20, I believe, will hit you.
Not with my agile parry.
Not with your agile parry. Excellent. You see this bite coming to like chomp down on you, and you just quickly give it an uppercut and cut its bite off. The second one will get to pincer attack you with advantage. The 16 will miss, unable to strike you true, and then it will bite regularly. With a 20, do you get to parry this one too?
Is it once per turn? No, I get a +2 bonus to the AC until start of my next turn.
That's
so,
how it works.
Nope.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a one attack thing or if it was an until. Perfect. You parry this one away. Just flurry of paws, smacking mouths. Melody, you see the surrounding of your friend, but he's doing well. What do you do?
Let me move back here, and I will first bardically inspire Borgfield to make sure that we try to negate a little bit that Bane. And then I will try another Dissonant Whispers on the bottom one this time. Maybe get that Bane fully out.
All right. If you want to hit the guy that's doing Bane, the top guy is the one who casts the spell.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, no worries. It can be confusing sometimes. Excellent. You will cast your Dissonant Whispers, which it will save unsuccessfully against, taking 12 psychic damage in the process. Then using its reaction to move as far away from you as its body will allow. So it'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Does it? Yeah, it'll just slide over here. Its amorphous body doing weird things to get around the rock. And then it will make a Constitution saving throw to maintain concentration.
Do I get a attack of opportunity? It's a reaction?
That is forced movement. You do not get an attack of opportunity against it. But it will fail to maintain concentration on Bane, dropping off of Borgfield.
And I'll move back to my little hideout.
Back to the hidey hole we go. Excellent. With that, it will come around to Frank. What will you do, Mr. Red Hot?
I will peek around the corner, throw another firebolt at this guy. Hopefully not miss terribly. Oh, that's
that 18 is gonna hit for 6 points of fire damage as you peek around and throw your firebolt. Let me double check their resistances. Not to fire, surprisingly. And he will take 6 points of damage.
All right, and then I will peek back around. I'm going to look down this direction, Greg. Do I see anything coming down here?
At the moment, all you see is the like empty stone of a cave. No creatures peeking around the corner.
Got it. Okay, that's my turn.
All right, Bortfield, it'll come to you. What will you do?
As I feel Bane being lifted from me thanks to Melody Telltale, I'll put down the javelins, pull out my great axe, and I'll step forward to finish off the one attacking Dagnab McGibbet.
Confident, I
Sir.
like it.
As I will recklessly attack for the Great Weapon Master.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll to hit for me if you would. That's a 17. That'll hit.
Okay, so that's that.
For
22
points of damage. You definitely bloody this creature as it was close already. But your great strike to finish it off only leaves it deeply wounded. It still stands, Bortfield.
I can't really do anything with my bonus action, so that's where it ends.
Alright, that is where it ends. Dagnab, it comes to you. What will you do?
You're muted.
I said, all right, well, I am going to try to finish it.
Excellent.
And let's start with the Warhammer. 26 to hit.
That'll hit for 7 bludgeoning, but unfortunately not enough to bring it down.
All right. And that, well, I'll flurry of blows again.
All right, so you spend your key to Flurry of Blows. 14 and a 21 will both get it done. Does he? No, he doesn't have access to that without his fun buddies. That is 8 and 15 total. He is going to die, but as he does, he has an unpleasant surprise, as inside this fissy creature is a sonic counterattack. As he dies, he bursts like a soap bubble, and out from him is a song, a melody, if you will. I would like everyone within 30 feet of him, which will include Frank but not Melody, to make for me a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw.
Is this a magical effect?
It is a magical effect, absolutely.
All right, I will roll with advantage then.
Dagnab succeeds.
17.
Frank succeeds. Bortfield, will you
You
succeed?
keep forgetting, I am the barbarian that has never failed a wisdom saving throw.
and
And I'm gonna add a bardic inspiration. I'm gonna add a bardic inspiration.
Okay,
to
roll that bardic. Oh, a 13! It's still a fail. Bortfield, you are
Damn it.
harmed by this song. You are the guardian of this cave, and there are intruders inside of it. You are duty-bound to expel them.
Okay.
With that, Dagnab, do you have anything left in your turn, or is that the end of it?
I am going to use my movement to get around this guy.
All right, you rush behind the creature that had to run away from our scary bard. With that, this creature will go, and it is very upsetty spaghetti about its buddy dying, and you being right next to it. It is going to, in fact, cast a magical spell here. It waves its spear in front of itself, and a shimmering, slimy nastiness appears in front of it, coating itself in magic. And then it is going to... Actually, it's feeling pretty happy where it is. No, it's not, actually. It's going to use its amorphous, slippery feature to slide right around the rocks here past you, and putting distance between the rest of the party and it. Melody. The fight comes your way as this creature slides around Dagnab. What do you do?
Okay, I'm gonna move up to here first. I think I'm too far from that guy over here. I'm gonna notch an arrow and take a good look at what Borbfield is gonna do. And if he comes in Russian to attack, I will let loose an arrow to try to get him out of his torpor.
Okay, excellent. You prepare to fire upon Borbfield should he do something unkind. Frank, it comes to you then. As your bard stares down your barbarian, what do you do?
I mean, is there any way for me to know that Borbfield has been charmed?
I don't know. Your bard feels pretty convinced of it, so I assume that you might have some vibe. Tricky situation.
Yeah, it is a tricky situation. Because he could down me in one hit.
I can probably
He can
kill
probably
you in one
kill
hit.
me
Yeah.
in one hit.
He might. He's done a lot of damage. He cut
Yes, he-
3 bird heads off in one go. Okay.
I know. Very scary. He's also very tanky, and I can't put him to sleep either. So,
Can I just ask
You
you
might be
for a
able to
big
snap him
favor?
out of it with damage.
yeah,
I might cleave both of you in half in one round, yeah? Just
right.
just to let you know.
Just let you know, I'm scary.
Yeah. You guys are too close to each
All right.
other, just just to let you know.
We're gonna have fun with this because this should be interesting.
Okay. What you
I
got
don't
for
even know if it. I don't know if it'll work. I'm gonna move 10, 20, 25 feet, and I'm gonna ready an action if Borbfield moves menacingly toward me to thunder wave him back.
All right, we have a standoff, Borbfield, as it comes to your turn. You've been charmed to the sonic waves of this dead frog, interfering with your mind. 2 intruders stare at you, one with a knocked bow, the other waving his magic peppers around. What do you do?
I mean, I probably would have chased the bunny, but now seeing that there is a tasty little gnome right in front of me, right, I have to try and step towards him.
All right. He enters my range and triggers my spell.
He sure does. Go ahead and make me a DC 14 Constitution saving throw, Borbfield.
Which I know he's pretty good at. Ooh, no, it's a fail.
He fails. Borbfield, please take 8 points of thunder damage, which I think your rage will have. But also, I believe you are knocked back some feet. Is it more than you have movement? 15
10 feet.
foot. I don't think so. I think what you see then is Borbfield get slid back from the concussive blast. He shakes his head and then steps right back up to you. Borbfield, what do you do now
Does
that
he
you've
get knocked
approached?
down? Because getting up takes half your movement.
Correct. So I would
It's
get
pushed
pushed 10
back.
feet.
It's not.
back.
He doesn't go prone, if that's what you're asking. It pushes
Okay.
you feet backwards. So he
Gotcha.
goes 15 feet back and then walks 15 feet forward.
Okay.
Greg, I can make it to the both of them.
Oh,
I'll let
do you
you decide which
change?
one
Do you change direction after getting pushed?
That's what I'm.
No,
Confused
you
about.
can't. You can't go. So you were here, right?
No,
So-
it's here.
Right, but you started
I
your
was
turn
10
here,
Yes.
and so you moved 5 feet, and then you got
Yep.
pushed back to the edge. So you have moved 5 feet. Oh no, you're fine. You have all the movement. You can go anywhere. Yeah, never
Yeah.
mind. I'm lying to you because I am trying to talk too much. What do you do?
Which one do you reckon Warpbill would be going after?
Which one do I reckon you would go after?
I'll roll a d2, 1 being the wizard and 2 being the bard. Sorry, Melody.
All right,
And
you
I-
approach Melody, which, by the way, you threaten menacingly, making her bow shot go off. Melody, I'd like you to make me roll to hit.
And I fail miserably.
Oh no, that's an 8. It will miss. Borbfield, an arrow whizzes past your mask. What do you do now that you approach?
I mean, I have an axe in hand, so the decision is pretty simple, unfortunately.
All right.
I will not Great Weapon Master this one.
Okay. Just a regular
regularly
old
priced.
axe. I
Wow.
respect it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness! Perhaps it's the strange concussive blast plus arrow combination that threw you off your game. Perhaps there's a glimmer of Borbfield's actual allies inside him still, but either way, his swing goes wide, and we turn to Dagnab up in the top, facing down a newly slimy fishman. What do you do?
Do I get to repeat the save, or am I just permanently charmed?
We'll see, won't we?
You ended your turn. Yes, I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw. I skipped past that too quickly.
Oh
We're
my
gonna
goodness.
be
You are
trapped in a
still
corner in a
charmed. Tough.
minute.
All right,
All
putting
right,
other
so-
notes aside, Dagnab, what you
I'm
doing?
going to, I think, just repeat what I did last session or last turn, and go for another Warhammer plus flurry of blows.
All right.
2, 3.
Unfortunately, your Warhammer will miss. The first unarmed strike will go true. Your second unarmed strike slides off this newly slimy creature, its extra protection deflecting it, as well as the 15. So go ahead and roll me one set of damage.
All right, 8.
Oh, I see it at the bottom. 8 points of damage from your bludgeoning strike.
That's my turn.
That is your turn. With that, it will go to the creature's turn. The creature doesn't have a lot it can do to you without its buddy. It can't do its sweet pincer move, so it's just gonna bite you now. It's out of spell slots. It's only got bites all the way down. Just a normal one. That is a 13. That's gonna miss you. It's gonna bite again. In lieu of its pincer staff, it's gonna miss you. It thinks about running. It doesn't run. Melody, it comes to you as you stare down the barbarian. What do you do?
I
Kite,
will. Go ahead.
kite him.
Oh, kite.
Yes. I will disengage
Mm-hmm.
and go running as far as I can get.
All right, you hoof it as far as you can get after disengaging a fighting withdrawal from the raging barbarian. That'll bring us to Frank as you see Melody rush to get space from Borbfield. What do you do?
Keep running, Melody! I will shout as I move in this direction. 20 feet here. Another 5 feet this way. Can I see this?
Oh yeah, you can see him.
I
He's
can see him.
slippery and weird, but you got eyes.
Wonderful. I'll throw a firebolt right into his back.
That'll hit him despite the sliminess.
For
For
maximum
10
damage.
fire. Woo! Look at you go. That is enough to bloody him. But
Alright,
he is
that's
not
all of
dead.
my movement. And
Okay.
now I hope that somebody doesn't die when Borgfield goes.
Boardfield, it is your turn. The spell still lingering on your mind. There's intruders everywhere. What do you do?
I mean, the choice is very simple, right? I just follow Melody.
All right.
She's right in front of me, so. I'm just wondering if I can make it to her.
That looks like 30
Unfortunately, I
feet. Yep.
Melody, how much HP do you have?
That's not ominous.
15.
Okay, so no Great Weapon Master then. Let's try not to kill you in one
I
go.
like that you were considering it, though. Bonus points for thinking about it. A 14 I don't think is going to hit Melody.
It does.
Oh, it does.
7.
All right, Melody, you take a slash across the chest as the enraged Borbfield rushes up to you. It is a heavy blow, but perhaps not as bad as it could be. Borbfield, at the end of your turn.
Wouldn't it be +2 because he's raging?
Okay, 9. Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
you are correct. Yeah.
Two.
+2. So 9. Still a hefty blow, but Melody stands. Borbfield fails again. He will continue to be charmed. Dagnab.
I am the protector.
All right. Well, I got 1 key point left, so I'm gonna spend it.
All right.
So first off,
The
that's
20
nice
will
hit.
hit for 14 bludgeoning. My goodness. You send it to death's door, but it doesn't go down in one hit. The 25, the 22 both hit. You bludgeon this thing. Pop, pop, pop. Once again, as you saw before, the creature pops like a soap bubble, and from it a sonic discharge hits your ears and Frank's. I don't think anyone else is close enough, no. I would like for Dagnab and Frank's Red Hot Sauce McAwesome Sauce to make me wisdom saving throws DC 14.
We're fine.
Oh, you are both fine. All right. Well, we will, despite the Kuatoa whip being dead, return to Melody because you're still being tracked down by an angry protector, your would-be friend or erstwhile friend, Borbfield. What do you do?
Alright. I will healing word myself as a bonus action. And then we'll continue running away after disengaging.
Excellent. You cast your spell, healing yourself. You fight a withdrawal so that you can disengage, and you beat feet deeper into the cave. Go ahead and, I guess you can move your 30 feet should you so desire on the map.
I'm gonna run back towards my allies here.
Alright. Not further into the cave, back towards help. Smart. Frank's Red Hot. You are not charmed. It comes to you. What do you do?
Give me one brief moment.
Absolutely. Listen to the sick
What?
combat music.
What did the pop sound like when these things popped into Sonic?
It sounded very much like the playing of a particular organ that you may or may not have had a lot of contact with last night.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to move as far as I possibly can this way towards Melody. And I'm going to try to replicate that sound out in
Okay.
front this way. I can only do it 10 feet away, but I do have prestidigitation.
Okay.
Said I can create a harmless sensory effect such as faint musical notes. And I'm going to try to play it. Actually, I'm going to play it down here and see if I can draw Borbfield maybe in a different direction, maybe run him out of movement.
All right. I like what you got going on. I would like for you to make me a performance check to see how well you can replicate the sound of the organ that you fought.
This can only go well.
Ooh. I don't know. You've heard it before, but it's not really your specialty. You make the sound of the organ, but maybe you heard too many discordant notes. You're not really sure how effective this is going to be.
Do I deal psychic damage to myself?
No. But that would
Okay.
be very funny.
That would be funny.
Borbfield, it comes to you. You hear a mockery of the music in your ears. It's really, really disappointing and frustrating to you, but there's still intruders. What do you do?
My skin turns green from all the anger in my body, and I yell, "Get out of me cave!"
Get
As I
out
try
of
to
me
take Melody down.
cave. Oh, it doesn't. I don't think an 11 hits you, does it?
Nope.
Excellent. Borbfield, maybe you're just getting nicer in your old age, but you're not bringing down these enemies.
I mean, I'm not recklessly attacking.
That's true. That's true. Dagnab, it comes to you.
Wisdom save?
Oh yes, Borbfield. I need that wisdom save. I just get so excited to go to the next person.
I know.
It's gonna be a 5 again.
Oh,
Hey,
Never mind.
it's a critical success. Borbfield, you shake yourself out of this. How do you alert your party that you are no longer charmed and terrifying?
You know, there's a massive mask on my face, so they can't really tell like the facial expression change at all. But you know, I'll put my axe on the shoulder and be like, "Anyways, let's go this way," and I kind of just start walking away.
All right. With that, the party will enter this cave proper. The enemy is defeated. Boardfield is walking away. The rest of the party, do you want to sit and hang out in this area at all, or are you going to follow him?
Was there anything interesting amongst the dead bodies or the bones?
Yeah, there's a lot of bones in here. Piles and piles of them, in fact. As you dig through them, Mr. Dagnab, I'd like for you to roll me a 1d300.
263.
Dagnab, you find 263 gold worth of valuables. Once again, small precious stones, jewelry, and rings. But no coinage or other things. I'd also like for you to roll me a 1d7.
That famous 7-sided die is a 1.
Yeah, okay. With a 1, you are going to find a potion. Yes, you are going to find a potion with a, like, effervescent, bubbling green liquid inside of it. Green maybe might be the wrong word. It's something more tealish, like the color of the sea, but bubbling and effervescent.
Cool. I will put it in my backpack for now, and then I'll run out and join the others. Hey guys, look at this! And I'm like carrying a pile of money or of like valuables.
Excellent. Boardfield. Sorry.
Before we go further, any good reason why we would not take a short rest to get key points and a little healing back?
Well,
He's
that
gonna-
sounds good to me. Yeah.
Just gonna hang out amongst the bones for an hour.
Totally.
Build a chair out of the bone.
All right, if the party would like to, we can absolutely hang out with the bones. Party.
Just to let you know, we are in a cave and we don't know where is what or who is what. There might be things that ambush us. in the
Okay.
cave.
Well,
Then
we
you
should
might
probably
turn
rest
around and
because
hit
of
us with your
that.
axe.
Boardfield would never hit anybody with an axe.
I mean, sure.
There's like a massive gash on Melody's chest. Like, yeah, I would never hit
Oh man,
anybody.
those fish people got Melody good.
I know, right?
He didn't see any of it because he was busy.
All right, so you guys have decided, yes, we're gonna rest here in the cave.
We've got the
I think we
exploration
are.
points, I think.
Yeah. You cozy on up to the piles of bones in the cave, and you spend an hour. Besides, eating some rations, drinking some water from your skins, binding wounds. How do you spend this hour? Like in this damp, dark, slimy cave. Eventually, your torch is gonna probably go out. I guess it was prestidigitated, so you can just bring it back. But you've got an hour to kill here in this like slimy cave with the stench of like rotting fish and like bones to keep you company. What does that look like?
I mean, we could always go outside the cave. It's like 32 feet that way.
32
that.
feet. My goodness.
I mean, I'm sure it's more than 32 feet.
Sure. Instead
Or
of
like
sleeping
78.
inside the cave, you can go or not sleeping, but resting. You can step outside to the coast, that small little coastline beneath the bluff, and under the watchful eye of the fish people statues. You take your rest. What is that like then, as you sit on the outside of the shore, watching the waves crash against your simple coastline?
I probably just spend the time organizing like the valuables I got.
Yeah, make sure all the gems are together. These are the red ones. These are the diamonds. Got it.
I make sure to sit precisely in Borb's field blind spot so that he can never see me for a full hour.
You spend a lot of time making sure that he can't see you. All right.
And because it's a short rest,
Mhm.
I will use Song of Rest. If any of you are using hit dice, you can roll an extra d6 to regain hit
Alright.
points.
You play
Very
a
nice.
soothing, restful song on your bongos. We won't ask
do you-
how
Well,
that
melodies-
goes.
While Melody's playing the song and singing a little song for us, I will be wiping my axe off her blood, essentially.
Man, these fish people really got.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Frank is going to spend some time looking at his spell book and then spend the rest of the time trying to distract Boardfield so he doesn't feel terrible about it. Crushing Melody. Well, I stand between him and Melody.
All right. With that in mind, you will take your tentative rest. An hour passes as you do these things, drink and eat as needed, bind some wounds. Feel free to roll a number of hit dice equal to 1/2 of your hit dice pool rounded up, and no more, to regain HP, as well as take some Song of Rest HP. I think it's a D6 with your hit dice. The rest of you will also be gaining spells and class features associated with a short rest, of course. And then you will pack up and be prepared to venture further into this cave, I presume.
Yeah, we're going back in.
All right. You find it much the way you left it, dark and slimy. The pervasive stench of rotting fish bones and whatnot prevails across your nostrils. As you push your way deeper and deeper in, you will eventually find yourselves at the very, very back of this cave, where I'm just going to briefly put it on stream so that we can have the reveal to the audience as well. As you get to the very back of this deep and dark cave, a familiar sight stretches up in front of you. It is nothing else but the very image of the great spectral organ that you had seen before. This one, however, is quite tangible and seems to be made entirely of stone. Before it is a small rug that has, kind of stood the test of time. It is unfrayed, unrotted. It seems in a near pristine condition. The figures of people reaching and crawling over each other in stonework, well preserved as well. But no creature or sound is found near it. Just the crashing of the waves behind you.
Wild. All right, I go and play it.
You attempt to play it. Your fingers press down on what you assume to be keys. You find them to be painted as white and black as if you could play it. But you find it to be not more than a stone statue, carving a duplicate of what might be the real thing.
Oh. Well, that was disappointing.
I think
It doesn't work, guys.
I'll spend 10 minutes virtually casting Detect Magic. And then anybody else who wants to interact with it can do that while I'm messing around.
Could we just investigate it a little bit? Could this look like a worshipping place or anything along those lines?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know if there's anything that stands out as a place of worship. There's not an obvious altar or prayer book. There's not an obvious, this is a worship place signifier. But I mean, it is a very well preserved piece of art, and the statues are strange and uncomfortable to look at. The piano itself is painted and preserved. There's this beautiful rug underneath the piano, or I guess the organ in front of it. You could see these strange fish people maybe worshiping it, but there's nothing that says that that's definitely what it is.
Okay, so there is no an offering bowl or anything.
No
similar to that
offering
I'm guessing.
bowl, altar, nothing like that, no.
And
Well, you know what? Sorry, go ahead.
I've never seen a place that looks like it has a secret tunnel more than this. Can we check under the rug and maybe press random keys or pull random
Yeah,
what
while
do you call
the ritual
pipes?
is going on, you press keys as much as you can. The rug reveals naught but the stone floor beneath it. Unfortunately, it holds some other cave. Is not yours. or is not
Okay.
to
I'm
be
gonna roll up
found
the rug
here.
and take it. If I can't play the organ, I'm just gonna take its decoration. I'm gonna
Yep.
take the rug.
You roll up the rug, it's yours. Absolutely.
Make sure Frank examines the rug first with his detect magic, though.
Well, if it's magical, I'm sure I'll find out.
As you guys do all this, the ritual bongo dance eventually will end, and you can detect magic. Sure enough, the rug itself does have a faint magic to it. It is enchanted as if by a spell. This one is transmutation in origin. The stone of the organ does not have any spell work on it at this time. Nothing pings your senses other than the potion that was picked up earlier from the cave.
I want to lay the rug back out and like sit on it cross-legged and be like, abracadabra, flying carpet. See if it'll, like, turn into a flying
Give me an
carpet.
Arcana check.
Okay. I don't know anything about this, so that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Okay. It turns out the command word for this is abracadabra, flying carpet. And it immediately unfurls and lifts itself up off the ground.
Okay, Aladdin.
You can step upon it and it holds your weight.
That's amazing. I love that. All right, well, let's take the magic carpet out of the cave then, guys. If we don't know
Holy
what else
crap.
we're doing here.
You attempt to fly the magic carpet forward, and you expected it to like zoom out of the cave. And what you find is that it drifts very, very slowly. In fact, it has the exact same movement speed as Tensor's floating disc. As this magic carpet is enchanted to hold lots of loot.
Oh, well, okay.
For reference, Tensor's floating disc will not load. I'll tell you how fast it goes. This carpet can float no more than 3 feet above the ground, and it holds up to 500 pounds. It can only move 10 feet in distance across like a pit or something, right? Like if something drops off farther than that, the magic will end. And it can only follow you 20 feet away from like another person. So this moves essentially at 20 feet if you're the only person on it. Otherwise, it will follow like your companion or somebody walking, like a mule or a horse, 20 feet behind it.
All right, well, that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'll deactivate it and put it away for now.
Excellent.
I look at the statue.
Yeah.
Does it look like it's secured to the wall, or is it just sitting on the ground?
The more you investigate it, the more you think this is like legitimately just carved into the like stonework.
Yeah.
Like this is a natural cave, and then someone came in here and took the stone of the cave and made this in the back of it.
Yeah. This is very impressive, but it's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well, it's not magical and nothing to do with it, so.
It couldn't be that it activates and at night only, right? Like the incorporeal one. You would notice it with detect magic, I'm guessing.
I mean, it's possible.
Probably. Yeah, I mean
I'm
that seems
overbearing,
very
what do I know?
likely, right? Your detect magic spell didn't ping anything, unlike the kind of enchanted field. But I don't know, man. Borg field magic's weird.
Yeah, man.
Maybe it was magical until we destroyed the ghost version. Like, somebody had to be here playing it for the ghost version to work.
I'm
And,
gonna.
like, they were controlling it from this cave. The fish people were.
As we're like gathering our stuff to leave after we determine this is like nothing, I'm gonna try one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
As the party begins kind of to leave behind me, I'll take off my mask, close one of my eyes, and focus it with the Eye of Suhui, the Blessing of the Suhui, and try to see if there is anything else that I can see or feel or anything else beyond that.
Love it.
What does he see with his Sharingan?
What does he see in the Sharingan? Borgfield, despite the magics that bless your eye, you do not see the path unwind here on the Oregon. The Logris that is centered on this point twists in beyond even your comprehension.
Okay. Makes sense.
And we're convinced it's a perfect replica of the ghostly organ we saw.
Oh yeah, it looks identical to you, man. Anyone who got up close and personal with it, especially Dagnab, who like tried to play the ghost organ, like this is a spot on replica.
So what if we came back at night then?
I mean, we can wait around. I think we're probably gonna need to sleep nearby anyways.
Sure.
All right,
I'm happy
let's
to come
go
out
out
here.
and let's go out and look for some food. I'm gonna go
Yeah, let's
fishing.
do that
right?
in the meantime.
Absolutely.
We're gonna wait here till nighttime, but during that time, we're gonna go fishing.
That is totally cool with me. You are going to go out and go fishing with your downtime as you wait for night. Mr. Frank Red Hot, you tell me first. How do you go fishing? Did you bring a fish and tackle? Do you get a spear and try to wade out and spear fish? Like what how do you get this food, this victuals from the ocean?
Well, first of all, yes, I do have fishing tackle on my character sheet.
Excellent.
Second of all, I am also a wanderer, and so therefore I'm going to spend the exploration point to get us rations.
Absolutely.
Lastly, as I go fishing and everybody kind of rests and contemplates, you'll look over maybe like 45 minutes to an hour later, and there's a pile of fish next to Frank, but none of them are sitting there normally. It looks like he got the fish out of the water a little bit, couldn't pull them in, and just firebolted them all.
There's a bunch of roasted
Better-
fish next to you.
Oh, no. Better yet. No, this is better. I went out in the water, in like the shallow water, and just sat there for like 45 minutes until the fish started swimming around me. And then I cast Thunderclap around me. And Thunderclapped all the fish and then just dragged them as they flew to the surface. That's how it happened.
This is exactly how it happened. You sat
And the fishing
in...
tackle is just sitting next to the fish at the end.
It's decorative. That is exactly how it goes down. You drag a bundle of unconscious fish to the shore so that you and your party can eat. Everyone refill your rations. You have smoked, roasted, and stunned fish. You may
Nice.
go back up to the maximum of 3 rations each.
Very good.
That is so funny. Okay.
All right, cool. Well, then let's see if anything interesting happens at this cave tonight.
All right.
I suppose we do have one exploration point left after that, right?
No, you guys have like half a day's worth. You walked here and then you short rested and then you got victuals. So you have 3 exploration points technically in like total. I assume if
Okay.
you're just sitting here, you're going to kind of pass the time and we would just talk about
Yeah,
what you
that's
do.
fine.
But if you have a specific thing you want to do with the exploration point system, let me know. We can go for it.
No, not really.
Okay. Did you want to do anything in particular in the like hours that you're going to pass as a character here? Sounds like a no. All right. You eat fish and salt fish and roast fish and pack up your victuals and wait for night to fall. Eventually, the sun will set to your west, the shadows creeping across the coast until the stars come out and it is late at night. I think you probably are half expecting to see a spectral organ appear in the waters and start playing after last night, but nothing happens. It is a nice, quiet, dark time in the cave here.
Does anything happen with the fake organ?
Yeah, you wander inside the cave. It's much as you left it before, up to the stone statue to find it largely the same as you left it. The only thing notable is that there are glyphs upon the bald heads of the statues that are on either side of it. They are, in fact, glyphs of worship, as you see them glimmer underneath the stars that do not penetrate this cave.
Very interesting. Well, I think we just destroyed someone's god today, so like I kind of feel bad about that, but
Do you?
Ah, fuck
Do
him.
you really?
What's up,
I'm
Doc?
just munching a carrot. Yeah, right.
Well, party. I assume that with the site you leave the place. It doesn't sound like you're investigating further or have much left to do.
If the glyphs are like shining, right, then it's just like general worship glyphs, right?
Mhm.
If you say a little prayer, if you put like a coin or two on there, nothing happens, I'm assuming.
What prayer do you say?
To be honest, because we don't know the name of the creature, I just kind of sit down and do a general prayer, like, I hope my travels, stay successful. Yada yada. Here's a couple of pieces of coin for you in return. That's all, really.
All right. I would like for you to make me a religion intelligence check, please. As you, I'll take religion wisdom. Also, I don't really understand why religion is where it is. Either one. And your DC is going to be 12.
I rolled a 4.
Ah. You say your prayer. You leave an offering, but nothing really seems to change in your mind or in the place. It just seems like a stone statue with some painted glyphs.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, I have nothing. I'm looking over my spells, and I have nothing I can even do to copy the glyphs. Nothing to copy them with, so.
Oh, I've got something I can use to copy them. I've got a painter's set. So I'm just gonna paint
I will
copies
hand
of that.
you. I will hand you a. Oh, do you have stuff to paint on, like canvas and stuff?
I have
I got a
parchment.
rug.
I have parchment, ink, and quill.
Okay, all right. Oh yeah, let the bard do this.
I run a newspaper. Of course, I have stuff.
I'm gonna
Okay.
paint the enchanted rug. Okay, yeah, you may, especially Melody's doing it. The bard, this is right up your alley. Typography, right? Making copies of things. Ugh. Melody, you bang this out, and easy peasy. You can draw on your parchment exact copies of these glyphs.
Perfect.
All right.
We can research this later.
Party. We are going to be running into our kind of like 4-hour mark here. We started a little late. It is now 10 o'clock on a weekday. All we have left is to travel back across the coastline to Antrim, where the danger level is pretty low, as you probably noticed on the way here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of hand wave that away. You have enough rations. You are going to safely and securely rest a second night here. And then you have a 2 days march through pretty unperilous lands. If there is anything you want to do character-wise on the journey back, let's take care of that. And then let's just go to wrapping up as we kind of are coming into the end of the time of our session here, with not a lot left to resolve. So, party. Anything that your characters do or are interested in doing or researching or whatever, having a scene on the way back to the city of Antrim?
Yes.
I'm gonna do a goof and tie the brass legs to the bottom of the flying carpet so it looks like the carpet has
it definitely looks like it's
Oh my
crawling. Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
I
I will
love it.
definitely, after laughing hilariously at that, spend some time with Dagnab, looking at his wings, looking at the legs, and promising him that at some point in the future, we're going to attach these to you. Because, yes.
I always wanted more legs.
Excellent.
Think of how many kicks you could make with 4 legs in one round,
Oh,
sir.
that would be amazing.
Wait, you're not gonna replace them. You're gonna just fuse extra legs on him.
He's
That's
gonna be a
fair. I didn't
4-legged
consider
spider
that.
monk.
I'm trying to imagine a 4-legged, 2-armed monk that has
That's a
extra
rabbit.
jumping. Okay. This is quite the image. I like it. Anything
I think
else
that's it.
before we the adventurers make their way back to Antrim?
I don't think so.
All right. Excellent. Well, you have a relatively safe journey. You maybe fight some dogers along the way, but there are no overly challenging things for you and your party here, and you will make it back safe and sound to good old Antrim. Excellent. Party, I am going to add up some XP and hand out some loot for you, but before we do, as always, I'm going to let you guys give yourself some shout-outs. Tell people where they can find you on the internet, or what you got going on offline, or just tell us what your character is going to do back in the city. And I'm going to start us off in reverse camera order. Well, who are you there? So Scarlet Shadow, take us away.
Holy shit, Greg, I lived through a session. It happened. It
You
only
did
took
it.
like 6 months, but it happened.
Yeah.
I'm getting experience for real. I get to get a gold piece. Maybe even more than one. It's gonna
Oh,
be
you'll get
amazing.
more than one.
Yeah, we racked up a good bit of gold today. I'm Scarlet Shadow. You can find me on Twitch, Scarlet Shadow with 2 W's. I do a lot of speed runs for Dragon Warrior. I do Dragon Warrior Randomizer and tournaments. We got a summer tournament coming up, but tomorrow I've been invited to participate in an international community race for Dragon Warrior 3. We're doing a single segment run, myself and 5 runners from Japan at 7 o'clock Eastern. So once I get a link to where the YouTube is that's going to restream it, I'll put a post in Greg's channel here.
Heck yeah.
And essentially we're doing Japanese RTA rules. So I'm going on their rule set and competing against them. It should be tons of fun. I'm very excited. I'm
That
practicing
sounds
all the-
awesome. I look forward to trying to check that out. So McFly, you got anything for us?
Yeah, back in Antrim, I'll host a party fireside chat interview with a alive Mikasum sauce, and I'll charge 1 GP for everybody to come and see one that is still alive.
All right. If
And that will fund the
anybody,
newspaper.
if anybody in the Cloak and Stagger Discord channel volunteers to pay the entry fee, you can go ahead and add that to your character sheet.
Excellent. Otherwise, I'm McFly, and I do run the wiki newspaper in my spare time, which has been very fun. And thank you, Greg, for hosting this game. It's awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed. Horo, you got anything you want to shout out or do? Say?
Not in particular this time around. Big thank you as always for running us through another fun session.
Absolutely.
I had loads of fun.
I'm glad.
Shout out to the other players in the party. You guys rock. Sorry, I nearly got you guys killed at a certain point, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
All right.
The only hit points that Melody lost were to a friend.
Last but not least, King Leoko, you got anything you want to shout out, say, do, recap?
No, I'm just let's get on with it.
Let's get on with it. All right, I can do that. In that case, I would like for you all to take home 562 experience points each. 562. I would like for each of you to take home 241 gold each. 241.
Nice.
On top of that, we have some loot to hand out. First are the bronze legs. These are unattached and come in a pair, 20 pounds each. I think we are all in agreement that these are going to our Wascally friend. Is that the case, or does anyone else want to lay claim to them? All right, Dagnab, keep those bad boys on your character sheet. The next item we have is a Scroll of Bestow Curse. It works exactly like the spell Bestow Curse. You read it, it curses. Anybody want to lay claim to this said scroll?
I would like to put a roll in on it.
Okay. Looks like you're unopposed.
Yeah,
Okay.
just give it to the wizard.
Go ahead and take it, my friend. Scroll Bestow Curse is yours. The next item that you found was the potion that went unidentified. It is a potion of water walk. You drink it, you walk on any liquid. There may be some liquids that might hurt, like walking on lava. Probably going to take some fire damage. Doesn't make you immune, but you can walk on it. It lasts for an hour. Would anyone like to lay claim to the potion of water walk?
I'll roll for
Sure,
it.
yeah, that's cool. Well, let's roll.
Same.
Yep. All right. I need D100's highest takes it. That's looking like an 89's gonna take it. I'm trying to call you Horo. That is not it. Boardfield, that is yours. Put it on your character sheet. And last but not least, we have the Enchanted Carpet. Not a flying carpet. It is enchanted as Tensor's floating disc. I kind of talked about it before. If you need the recap, I can go over it. Who would like to roll on the Enchanted Carpet? I assume all of you.
One question before we decide upon that. Can the carpet be used to get like over gaps in the flooring?
10-foot
Like,
gaps.
If there's a ravine.
it
If there's a
can,
ravine.
It cannot go over a pit or gap deeper than 10 feet. But it will go over a 10-foot pit or gap.
I mean, not super useful. Do we want to just give it to Melody since she's the only one who hasn't gotten an item yet?
I
Yeah, I'll roll
love
for it.
that idea.
All right, let's just give it to Melody.
All right.
Sounds good. Melody,
Perfect.
please put the Enchanted Carpet on your character sheet. And with that, we are done for the night. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for coming and hanging out and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to, come on and you can play too. It's open to everyone. I will see you guys next Saturday. Not this one, but next Saturday for our next session. And hopefully before then with some video games or something. Until then, have a great rest of your day, night, week, whatever it is. So I see you again. And we'll catch you all next time. Peace, everybody.
Bye-bye.